Welcome to Chewing the Fat with Hungry Hussey. I'm Matthew Hussey, your host. And today we've got an awesome guest, CJ with Cooking with CJ. CJ is a California-based creator for barbecue, Ninja Foodie, Griddle, just really all things cooking. He even goes into the house as well. Hey, we'll be diving into his journey. It's got a really interesting journey, the ups and downs of content creation, and what keeps him fired up. So grab a seat. Let's chew the fat with CJ. Well, CJ, appreciate you coming on the show, buddy. As you know, I'm starting this journey myself, and we have a great relationship with one another, text back and forth. And so I really, really appreciate you coming on to the show.
I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me on, dude. Look, we've been friends for a long time. To get on this thing and be able to just chew the fat with you, brother, dude, I'm pumped up, man. Just seriously, I'm excited for you, too, because I know what this takes. It takes a lot, and you're going to kill it, and I have no doubt about it, dude. You're going to kill this bad boy.
It does take a lot. And like I said, a familiar face for me, familiar person, I really wanted to calm those nerves. I really wanted to make this, start off with a success, man. And I couldn't find anybody any better than you to start this off. So
appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, buddy. Well, CJ, hey, you got a really, really awesome story, and we'd really love for you to tell it to our fans out there. So just to get to know you just a little bit, get to know, just in about an hour, right? Tell us a little bit about your journey, where you're located, your family, anything else you might want to add, and really what got you into cooking and creating a channel.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, I'm here in Southern California. I'm pretty much born and raised here. I left for a small stint to Oregon when I was a little kid.
Really?
We came back pretty quickly, so it's been in Southern California my whole life. We do spend a lot of time out in Vegas, hence the big Vegas tattoo on my arm and all that jazz. That's kind of our second home, but SoCal is where we hang our hats. And I'm married, got 5 kids.
Dang it, boy.
Well, this is our second go rounds with it, so we both brought some children to the mix. We both had practice spouses, and we're a whole lot better at this now.
Sometimes it takes that one to get off your back, right?
Yeah, you gotta. It's like the first batch of pancakes. That first one, you gotta get rid of it, right?
That first one's a little ugly.
Yeah, it was a little ugly. It didn't turn out quite right. So you gotta move those to the side. Anyway,
that's right.
So our kids are wow, man. We have a wide range. We have 3 kids in college right now, 2 in high school, 23, 2 18-year-olds. A 15 or a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old. So we are hopping. We got a lot of stuff going on. Kids are all wonderful. How I got into this is our oldest, back when he was in high school. Now and this is funny, he was taking film classes and he was getting ready for college, right? I'm like, so why don't you film me? You edit it, you do all the direct it, light it, whatever. And you have a little portfolio, right? Little portfolio of something, your work, so you can send it out to colleges or whatever, right? So
right. Yeah.
So we did a couple videos, put on YouTube. I had no idea YouTube cooking was a thing.
Yeah.
Like I was like, we'll just throw it on YouTube and see what happens. Because I didn't spend a lot of time on YouTube. I had no idea what it was really.
Right.
But I was just trying to help out my boy and started doing it. And like, most teenagers, he got busy, lost a little interest probably, and I decided I still wanted to do it. It gave me a nice creative outlet from my corporate life and all that. And it just, made me feel better about things. And I love cooking. Right? Yeah. I mean, obviously we wouldn't do this stuff if we didn't cook. Right. So
it's all for the love, man. It's all for the love.
Yeah. So, flash forward 7 years, here we are. And my son's on his second year getting his master's in film and television. So he's doing good stuff at his college. So it's just funny how it all kind of came about and how it's all working out, right?
So I didn't know that about your son, but I know you and I I don't know exactly when you started, but I know we kind of started kind of at the same time, and we got with that group. And where did that group even come from? It was like a Facebook group, right?
Yeah,
and somehow
I think so. Yeah, it was,
was
YouTube
a Hobo?
Groups. Yeah, a Hobo was probably the one that kind of started bringing people together because he had that show, The Hot Seat.
Right.
And he would bring creators on, and, we got in this, it was a Facebook group really that got everybody kind of together.
Yeah.
And he'd reach out to people or whatever, you want to come on and shoot the win with everybody, right?
Yeah,
and, it gave a little experience, a little exposure, right?
Yeah.
Talking with people and all that. So That's how we all kind of came about. And, you know, everybody started doing collaborations together, you know, 4th of July videos, you know, whatever, right? You know, just.
I remember the one challenge, and that's right. It was that Facebook, YouTube group. I think I'm still on it. I'm still in it. But I don't remember I don't know if the group just started and then like, or the hot seat. And I just kind of jumped on it. And that's where like Kent and Hobo and Lep, you and, you know, Pickles and all of them. But I was like, I thought this when you said you come on, I was like, I can't remember how we all just kind of lumped together. It was just a mass thing, and we just started hanging out, and you know, we've met a lot of really cool people based out of that group. You know, some I've never met, and some I have, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's amazing how this little YouTube group kind of brought everybody together. Like I could say I have friends across the country and even the world based off of YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, we go way back. We're good friends. You know, Kent, one of my best friends from Iowa, you know, like YouTube has opened up obviously tons of opportunities for both of us, but it's also opened up friendships that we would never have. Like it just is what it is. And that's it for a lot of us. When we started YouTube, it was kind of a social thing. That's why the groups worked out and the collabs and the challenges and the hot seats, whatever. It was all kind of social for me and fun and like meeting people on that. But at some point, you can see the people that want to keep it social and have fun. And you can see people kind of like us where we're trying to grow a brand. We're trying to make some cash, you know?
Yeah. And sometimes I wonder if like, you know, did it take the fun out of it? And it's like, do you miss them old days where you just kind of, you know, just did what you wanted to do and you know,
you weren't on a shooting schedule. You weren't on a release schedule. You're just, what am I making for dinner tonight? Let's go ahead and put it on film, right?
Let's put it on. Let's put it out there. See what we get. You know, if I can get 2 subscribers in 2 days, I'm great.
Yeah, I tell you what, I look at my analytics on my phone hourly basically, right? I'm obsessed with it, right? And you know, say a bad day is I get 50 new subscribers or 100 new subscribers. I'm just like kind of upset about that.
Does it mess with your mood?
There were days where it's like, dude, I'm getting 5 subscribers overnight. This is insane.
I remember waking up to those, man. Does it mess with your mood? If you release a video today and you told your wife, this thing's going to be a banger, girl. And then you look and that sucker's 10 of 10. What's your mood?
It's over. It's over. It's over for the day, baby. I can't handle it. You know, crawling back into bed, maybe grab one of the bottles behind me, you know, whatever. It's just just get back into the whiskey. Like I'm over it. There are so many videos that I've made and I'm like, God, man, I put my heart and soul in this one. There's a video I actually did with my wife where I taught her how to make pulled pork. And we have such a great chemistry together, and everybody says it, but we really do. And I'm just sitting there going, like, this is the banger. This is the one that's going to take us to Food Network, man. This is the one.
We're going to shoot that pilot.
Boy, howdy, man. It did fine, but it was not the bang. I was expecting to go viral. Like, dude, this is the one because it was so much fun. I last shot, you know, a couple hours worth of video as we were going, and I got it down. I was laughing the whole way through editing. It was so exciting. And I'm like, babes, this is it. Now this is the one. And boy, it did nothing.
Yeah. Slapped you right in the face, didn't it?
Yeah. Put me back down to reality.
I post on Sundays, Thursdays and Sundays, most Thursdays and about every Sunday. And it'll be later on in the day. And, you know, my wife should be like, guess the video's not doing good today. Huh? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you're in a terrible mood.
It's true. It's true, man. It's one of those things. We put so much heart and soul into this.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't like what we put out, or it's just you know not in YouTube's peripherals or whatever. It's tough.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty critical about myself, and I'm hard on myself. I'm my biggest critic and supporter, I guess. You know. Like, It's just tough when they don't do well.
Yeah, I totally get it. Or sometimes the comments, and I got thick skin, man. I mean, you can't hurt me. But there is sometimes, and I guess it's just my mentality sometimes, or my mental capacity at that time. Maybe the video's not doing good, and then next thing you know, the negative comments start rolling in, either on that one, or sometimes they come in, it's like that one, and then it's like some other videos that people are watching. It's like, what is today? The negative comment day, and I'm just at the point where I'm ready to throat punch somebody. I don't care who. Start
You know,
taking that
I'm
on the
telling you,
dog, the kids.
you're not wrong at all. And the funny thing is, you know, we've been getting comments for years, right?
Yeah.
And that I'm a pretty, I don't know, say aggressive person, and I want to get back into it. I'm like, all right, let's go. If you want,
Yeah.
to talk, let's go.
Yeah.
But I've found over the years it does nothing.
Does nothing.
So
Yeah.
my standard, you know, because it's either like I'm too fat or I use the wrong thing or diabetes is real or whatever, and I'm just
Right.
sitting there like,
Yeah.
I'm like, thanks for watching. That's what I put in there now.
Bless your
Thanks
heart.
for watching. Bless, yeah.
Bless your little
Some
heart.
people's children out there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I get it. But you know, there's just some days I guess the mental capacity just isn't there for me, and the negative comments, and the next thing you know, I'm negative, and you know, everything's contagious. You know, negativity is contagious, positivity is contagious as well. But yeah.
Usually, you know, I don't know if you played ball growing up, but
did, yeah.
You did. I'm sure you're a bigger boy like me. And tackle, right? No, D-tackle.
Oh yeah, guard and tackle, yeah.
Guard and tackle.
Nose guard sometimes, yeah.
No, yeah, I love nose guard. Yeah, it was, I had the 24-hour rule, right? You don't get, you know, you celebrate the wins, you celebrate the losses, or you know, or put down the losses, whatever. You got 24 hours to get over it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I've been doing this whole time with a bad video or bad comments, or you know, something ain't going right, or I'm dealing with sponsor that's kind of a headache or whatever. It's 24 hours.
Yeah.
If you got to stew about it more than 24 hours, you just need to cut that, you know, just move on.
I like that. I like that mentality. I need to really probably focus on that probably a little bit more. If I learn anything from this podcast, that's the big one right there for me, brother.
Don't get too high, don't get too low. Especially, you know, like for us, we do this for our brand, and we want to see it succeed and or continue to succeed, whatever. And you gotta shake it off, right? I mean, not to get too Taylor Swift on you, but you gotta shake it off. I mean,
shake it off. Shake it off. Man, I tell you, I like that. We got off on a little bunny trail, and that's no big deal at all. Shoot, where the heck did we stop at? That was just the journey.
The journey.
Got you, what got you into cooking, your love for cooking, and then your son as well. And then the inspiration behind cooking with CJ. I think we kind of know that already. And at the beginning, what was that process like? I mean, how did you get going? I think your son was one, you know, but then after that, after he kind of lost interest, it was kind of up to you, right?
Yeah, it was. I had to learn how to edit, light, all that stuff. I ended up, someone hit me up, he's like, and it was one creator, and I can't even remember who it is. They're not doing content, but they're like, you need to get a microphone, man, because it's echoey like crazy through the house, you know, in the kitchen. But right now we're in my new studio.
It looks great, by the way.
Now, right? But I used to film in the kitchen or, you know, out back or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, it's so echoey on your thing. It doesn't sound good. And I'm pretty in tune with like YouTube University. I watch like the Nick Nimmons and Brian G. Johnson, all those guys about how to improve your YouTube game and all that. And they're like, your thumbnail got to be on point, right? You got to win that click. And then your audio has to be good. You can have a grainy screen, you know, not 4K, right? But you got to have good audio because people aren't going to listen if it's crackly or whatever. So,
that's true.
So I learned how to do all that stuff. Got the microphone, got real cameras instead of my iPhone, which funny enough, I still use my iPhone to this day for B-roll. It's the best tool. Quickest thing to pull out and just do a sweep over whatever.
It's the best tool. It's still the best tool that a creator can have is the dang iPhone or Samsung if you're
one of those weird people with the green.
The screen messages are terrible.
Anyway, actually, and before I was using like kind of Sony vlogging kind of cameras for my gear. This year is the first year I bought like a real kind of a cinema camera and like a Sony FX30, their cinema line. Yeah. And it's the first time I've used, I still don't know how to freaking use it right, but I got it. And it's you know, kind of all about leveling as you go. You can't stay stagnant, right? You gotta find what works for you, whatever.
Yep.
I want to get back to the love of cooking real quick though. I lived with my mom growing up, right? And she worked. And simple as that. So she taught me the basics of cooking to take care of myself, right? She had ungodly hours, right? So I learned how to make eggs and shaking and baking and whatever. Right? Once I moved out from her spot, right? You know, growing up, I was 18, decided to get out, whatever. Me and my buddy that I moved in with, you know, with a roommate, we watched Food Network. constantly for some strange reason. And we'd watch Emeril Lagasse and all them guys, Bobby Flo. Bam. Yeah.
My man. I like them too.
Every chance it was on, I was watching it. So we just got into we cook for ourselves based off of our crappy, low budget groceries we can get, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And, we have people over, and I found my love is cooking for people. I love how, like we were talking about, Thanksgiving's coming, right?
Yeah.
We're having everybody over here. It's my Super Bowl. I don't want you in my kitchen. You want to bring something? Bring some damn rolls and some sodas. I got everything else. This is my Super Bowl. This is what I train all year for. And
I like that. Yeah.
You know, and it's just what I love to do. And you know, God knows that I don't want to eat after I'm done cooking, you know, all that stuff. But I love just sitting back. I'll make a plate, but I'll just sit back here. We're in the studio here. It used to be our dining room, and we'd use that dining room twice a year, right?
Yeah.
And so I'd sit, you know, on the edge of the table here and just kind of sit back and just listen to the conversation and the fellowship of everybody and all that.
Lick your wounds from all the cooking you started out at 4 a.m. Yeah.
My apron, you know, I got a camouflage apron that looked more camouflage as the day went on, you know. So that's just kind of sparked it. And
you think that's part of your love language? You think that's part of how you show love and affection 100%. is through your cooking, you think?
100%. My wife, she hates it. She's lost 97 pounds these last few years, right? She's down a lot, right? And I still ply her with food. I'm like, come on, you got to try this. This is it. And
like, girl, you got to try this, girl. It slaps.
Slaps. Yeah. And God forbid I make anything sweet. And then she's like all over and pissed off at me for the next couple of days, right? I didn't lose 4 ounces today because of your damn chocolate cookies or whatever, right? So it's just it is my love language, and I love seeing people happy. And you know, food releases those endorphins and all that stuff.
I'm exactly like you, man. I feel like that's a love language that I like to act of kindness, you know. It does something to me, and I'm with you. I don't care to eat or anything like that. Now I will. I mean, look at me. I'm going to eat.
Yeah, I'm like, so I haven't missed a meal in a while, but you know.
But it'll happen at another time. I want to nibble on a little deviled egg or something right here, you know. So
and, you know, you also know you cook or you taste as you cook too. Right, you gotta make sure it's right. So I know
that green bean casserole. That green bean casserole is on point because I've tried it. I don't know how many times.
Hussey, that is my favorite. I look forward to that every year.
Dude, my wife, I fixed something the other day, man. She loved it. I gotta get a little cheerwine here, parched. But I love a green bean casserole too, bro.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's so simple, so easy. But if I don't have that and not everybody are like us where we share that love, right?
Yeah.
But God, you know that pan is empty by the time everybody's through the line, you know?
Yep.
So,
yep.
I'm with you, brother. This weekend, I'm cooking. So my wife and I, 2 of our kids are in band, you know, like marching band.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's big stuff, man.
So I do a lot of, and it's 220 kids strong, you know, it's a huge band, right? And so I'll cook for them. You know, and like I did pancakes for them last week, you know, for their little competition or whatever. Yeah. This weekend we're having a big thing at the school where like 16 bands are showing up. It's called Bands of America, and I'm going to be cooking on a big old barbecue rig and doing a bunch of tri-tip sandwiches and burgers and dogs. I'm obviously going to have some help, but there's going to be 4,000 people there. But you know, and that's a long day on your feet. But I love it, right?
Yeah.
You know, I love cooking. And so that's, you know, it's fueled the drive. Obviously, I want to grow a brand, and I want to make money. You know, I'll be honest with you.
I mean, you got to eat. You got to pay your bills. You know?
Yeah, I want to see it succeed, but I love cooking, so it kind of helps. And the other thing is, I'm an old coach. Like, I coached football for a few years. You know, initially went to college to become a teacher because I wanted to teach and coach and all that stuff. But, you know,
I didn't know that.
Life has a ways of tangenting that out, right? So when I do a cooking video, I'm teaching, I'm coaching. Yeah. So it may be a little more long-winded than you're used to. It's not a TikTok where it's flat, you know, right? You know, step. But I'll sit there and have a conversation with them why I'm doing it. Yeah. You know, I try to give the whys of what I do so you're not lost. And I'm no professional. I mean, like I've had no culinary training other than just getting out there and doing it.
Yeah.
But when you do something for multiple years, you have a skill.
Yeah.
And I'll tell anybody that I talk to that has a skill, put it on YouTube.
Yep.
You got film it, grab your camera or your camera, your phone, whatever, and film it. I got a buddy who does woodworking. I'm like, show it off, man. People are gonna watch it.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube is the second largest search engine in America or in the world.
Yeah.
Right. Only
Next to
second
Google.
to Google. Right.
Yep. That's right. Yep.
You have an opportunity. You got a skill. Get out there and put it on YouTube. What the hell? Just start filming. You don't even have to have your face on it if you don't want to. And
that's
those
a big thing.
Well,
faceless channels are a big thing. Yeah.
I even thought about trying to start
one. It don't appeal to me, but now I might get more viewers because, I mean, let's face it, I ain't too pretty of a guy, but.
No, I'll tell you what, dude. I know why you had me on first. You wanted the ugly guy on first. You look good, right? Yeah.
I got a haircut just for it is.
Oh, man, I got them all cut and they're still hidden. So it's dude, it's just is what it is, man. It's a good time, but you know, it's also a job. We're working.
Yeah. It's a great YouTube's such a great platform, man. And showing creation, showing your point of view, your piece of where you're at, you know, because you're different than me, and that's what's pretty cool is you can. It's like reality TV, but not, you know.
Yeah.
So
you're letting people in your world a little bit. You let them in your house. Yeah. Right? And I put the kids on a couple of videos, you know, and they feel like they want to get involved or whatever. But for the most part, it's just me. And I set up a channel for my wife a while back, and you know, she digs doing it. But she also has the full-time job and full-time kids, and she's also the booster club president for the band, right? So she don't have time to film like I do. You know?
She does primarily baking, right?
Yeah, is that what her channel is called? The Bitchy. Sorry, her channel's called the Bitchy Baker. Yeah, and I gave her that name. She's not bitchy at all, but it rhymed, and I thought it went well. But she has such a great personality, and I love her videos. I love editing her videos. Like, I tell her, like, I set up for her. I edit all the videos. I do the lighting. I do the, you know, whatever. I put it out to all the social medias. She just basically shows up and cooks or bakes, right? And I keep telling her, I wish I had a me for me. You know, like, I want someone to come set up my stuff and just show up and do my thing, right?
It would be so nice. Yes. It would be so nice. Yes,
a buddy of mine, I don't know if you remember Smoking and Grilling with AB.
Oh, yeah.
I've done a couple of videos with him. He's a good friend. And he's big now, right? I mean, he started with all of us, but he got the heat and does a lot of great stuff. And he's over 3 million subscribers now, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so he has more of a brand and you know, obviously does a lot more gooder financially than us, right?
Yeah, right.
And he has a team now, right? And I'll go and shoot with them, and all I got to do is shoot his assistant my recipe, my grocery list or whatever, and I'll go there. He has a whole house that's his studio, right? His office is his studio. He has a main house. In fact, my wife helped him get the house with her business, right? Her mortgage company.
Nice.
And so they got a really beautiful house out there. And then he has another house down the street that is just his studio. Huge kitchen, nice living room for his podcast. Upstairs, all the bedrooms upstairs are all offices for him and his employees. Really worked out really well. It's a beautiful spot too.
That's really smart to do. That's really cool.
You ride off the whole house as your office, right? I mean, it's not just a portion of your house, right? It's
right.
And it's really cool to do, but it's really, really nice to just show up and everything's portioned out, everything's set up. All you got to do is throw that apron on and smile. You know, it's just is what it is. So that's the goals. And I love going out and shooting with him. He's in Vegas. And I love going out and shooting with him. And it provides motivation.
Yeah.
To see what can happen. Because sometimes this gets a little stagnant, right? I mean, you feel a little beat down. You feel defeated sometimes. Like it's not growing. It's not doing what you want to do.
Yeah. Not growing at the rate you want it to. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. And so to see people that are actually succeeding in it and doing the things that you want to do, or having the things you want to have, it gives you the goals, right? It gives you a motivation to keep going. And you never know what's going to hit or who's going to latch on to you or what's going to happen. And, you know, there you are.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I remember, I know AB, and sometimes I'll still watch. I don't watch a whole lot of YouTube. You know, it's hard when you're a creator, when you're putting out content constantly, you know, it's hard to really intake YouTube like I used to like to do. And I remember sometimes I'll watch one of his videos. I remember him well, and he does a great job. And for sure, yeah, that's kind of where I want to be, kind of where everywhere, everybody can't be the same, but in that general realm, right?
So, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And, for the longest time, I know you have a buddy that helps you film now, but it was just a one-man show. And I'm still a one-man show, so it's still a lot more work. But, you know, you grow, you learn, and you figure it out, and you find people to help out. I had an editor for a long time that was at my son's film school. Give him a few bucks, he did the thing, and it took such a load off my back, dude.
Yeah.
Like, just not having to edit. So you find ways to improve and grow, and you'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's where I think this is a great little segue into kind of our next point. Is this basically content creation and some struggles and successes, and that's one thing that we struggle with is time management, and how do you make more time and all that, and it's not easy. A lot of people think content creators, they got it easy, and it's stressful mentally, physically, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. What's some of your biggest challenges, and how did you overcome them?
Time has been a big issue. That's huge. I mean, having writer's block or cooker's block, as it were. Not knowing what you want to film.
I got to film tomorrow, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I need a video for Sunday. Like, I drop my videos. I try to do Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, but I can't. It's tough for me to keep up with three videos a week. So
I don't know how
if I don't do it, I don't get on myself about it. I've actually started putting a lot more time into Facebook recently because I'm monetized there. So, but they want vertical long form videos, where YouTube wants horizontal long form videos, but then you got your TikToks and Instagram that want vertical short form videos. So it's a lot. What I've started doing and experimenting with YouTube is putting my vertical long form on YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
Just because the idea is most people watch this stuff on their phones. I mean,
they do,
more or less. And I've had a couple vertical long form videos do pretty well on YouTube, which I was surprised.
Yeah.
So it's
I've accidentally done that before.
Yeah.
I posted something. I thought it was a short. I actually had it for Instagram or TikTok and wasn't thinking, send it to YouTube. Also, I use Hopper HQ sometimes it posts all, and I don't know if I like it or not, but it does it. And anyhow, people are like, what is this vertical crap? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know.
I had a couple people poo-poo it, but
yeah,
I think they were some of the older generation that are probably still watching on their laptops or whatever. But it was a lot more positive than negative. Yeah. So I've just decided to start doing it because I'm really trying to put out a video a day on Facebook.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
I've been able to kind of reform and recycle older videos from YouTube, right?
Right.
Because, I have over 1,000 videos on YouTube. It's easy to do, but I figure might as well give it a shot. YouTube is always evolving, and, trying to chase their algorithm is a challenge. So that's kind of what I, started doing that. But like, time management is a huge deal. So, in the past, I was trying to answer comments as they came in. That was very annoying and tough to keep up with, especially as we grew, right? And so now I time block it. Mondays are not shooting days for me. They are a day of catching with comments, catching up with emails, doing my accounting for the business, editing if I need to edit, whatever. It's non-filming day, right? And then the rest of the week is filming, editing, and trying to post. And, I try to do stuff to keep up engagement, but I can't sit there and answer comments religiously as they come in. And since my wife is in a corporate environment where she works Monday to Friday, I try to mirror that schedule and work Monday to Friday and then have a quote unquote weekend to spend time with her and deal with kids, whatever, and have everything scheduled for the weekend that I need to do. I'll do it during the week. So time management is a big deal. Sometimes you just got to sit down and think about what's important to you and what's important for the brand and what you can do differently. And that's kind of what I did. I figured it out a little bit, And unless there's a comment on there that says like, I'm cooking this pork butt right now on the wood fire, I can't do something right, whatever. If I see that pop up and I'm able, I'll answer it right away just to help them out.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
for the most part, time blocking is put it on Mondays, answer all comments on Mondays.
Yeah, that's actually really good. Something I struggle with even today, because I started out, I said I'm going to reply to every comment. Somebody took the time out to leave me a comment, I'm going to do the same. Well, now it's like you take a couple days off, and now I'm buried, and I'm like I actually paid my daughter not long ago to basically for 1 straight hour. I told her, I said, here, take my iPad. I want you to like and heart every one of these, just so that, but I didn't even make a dent in what I'm never going to go back to where I didn't have any, but I feel so bad. I feel terrible inside because I can't get to all of them.
I think I would like to think that most people know that, once you get a certain amount of subscribers, views, or whatever, you're not going to answer it. And, it's not like binging with Babbage with 10 million people and a team and whatever. They're not sitting there answering comments. Like that guy may be sitting down on a Friday night board or whatever.
Yeah.
But they're not. And I think most people know that, or at least hopefully do. And if you got the one or two that get a little butthurt that you didn't answer them, and you could live with that.
Yeah, I hope they do. I still lay down at night. It kind of, I lose some sleep about it, so. But anyhow, that's
well, try.
It's always something.
Yeah, you can only do what you can do.
Yeah,
as long as you give an effort, I think people will see that. So grab it. Like I said, put an hour every Monday, and just try to go through as many as possible. I can't get to them all. I don't try to. But if I see someone's a channel member or something like that, then I'll make sure I answer that.
Yeah, I try to
go down the line and do my best. And I can only say, there's a lot of generic answer, right? I'll cut and paste thank you a bunch of times, right?
Right.
It just, that kind of speeds things up a little bit. You heart it, whatever. But,
YouTube has helped with some of their AI kind of generated stuff. Now, I really, really dig that. I think, do you have that now in your creator app where it's it's mine updated and then it went back to the old, and then now I've got it back now. So the community button or whatever, I really like that. So
I do. I dig it. What's funny is some of the responses actually sound how I respond. So that AI must have picked up through past comments.
Had to.
Because I'm a big, what's up, brother? Kind of guy, right? I say brother. I call everybody brother, right? And I'll say thanks, brother. And so I've seen a couple of the AI generated comments integrate that. So
that's pretty good, and it helps us. It helps me.
Well,
because sometimes I'm like, I'm getting tired of telling this guy the same, or I'm tired of telling, not this guy, but like 3 in a row, like, yeah, that's a great idea. And it's like, I'm not trying to be generic, but at the same time, it's like, you just don't know what to say, but I want to make sure I reply to these folks, because it was a great comment, but so, yeah.
I think the comments that are funny to me are the ones that are at least like 3 or 4 paragraphs. And I was like,
and those are tough.
Thank you. It's like your wife sends you a big old text and you respond with K.
Or
thumbs up. Thumbs up. Gotcha. I know that person is like, what the hell? I took all this time and all I get is a K.
I know. I feel the same way. I feel that neglect. I feel like I'm neglecting them if I don't at least put a sentence together for them.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about it one time? You were like, you know what? Screw this. I'm giving this up. Do you ever think about this
at least
stopping?
At least weekly. Yeah. I mean, it's
some days you just don't feel like doing it, do you?
Well, it's the roller coaster. There's days like I'll tell my wife, like, I'm not filming today. Like I know I had 4 sheets that I wanted to do or whatever, and I'm not doing it. We're gonna figure out something else. Let's go to lunch, because you got to do it. Like if you can tell on my face that I don't want to do something. Like, I'm a pretty emotional guy. So when I don't want to do something and I'm doing it, you could tell. Like, I'm not having fun with this.
Yeah.
And I don't want that to be conveyed. I want people to come back and be like, that's a good dude to talk to, right? So if I'm just sitting there and I got a smile on my face or, whatever, it's just, it's not worth it to me. So I've learned to move on with that. with the times I want to quit, it's not so much like screw this, it's this is done, but it's when the videos don't succeed like you want them to, like we were talking about earlier, like
you pour so much into it.
The analytics, YouTube's a roller coaster throughout the year, right? And I can see that my income, my estimated income, is down 50% month over month, and I'm like, I'm shooting the same, I'm putting the same stuff out. What the hell is going on? Like we're not getting Sizzler this weekend. We can't afford that stuff now, right?
That's
and
right.
That's the points where I'm just like, dude, that's the challenge for me. Luckily, we've done enough to kind of diversify our income streams, right? I know you have your rubs and your websites and all that, and for me, I work with brands that I get income from monthly, and per video type stuff. That kind of helps. And I've done something that I wish you would do, actually, is I write e-cookbooks. So I know you're a Blackstone dude, right?
Yeah.
I do a lot of work with Ninja and Shark Ninja, that company with the air fryers. And I've written 4 cookbooks or e-cookbooks, like downloadable cookbooks for their indoor grills. And I've written 5 for their outdoor products. And
Dang,
that's
5 for 5.
Yeah.
And that just came out, right? Like was it last year about this time? Or is that right?
It's been a couple of years since I got
a couple of years. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they've put out an oven, they put out a bigger grill, but it's been a couple of years.
Okay.
And so I'll write one, every 6 months or so, and then I put it on my site, my website and all that.
Yeah.
And, to me, that's been a nice, knock on wood, little income generator. I'm writing one this week for like a holiday recipe book.
Yeah.
For me, it's a 2 or 3 day process because, I have the recipes, I'm cooking them as I go, right? Yeah. I'm just putting them all in one spot.
Right.
So the 2 or 3 day process, not full days, just, time to do it.
Just kind of work at it. Yeah.
I have, I use Canva for it. Like, it's a real simple setup, and I'll put it on my site and I'll post it on, link in the description, or on my, the other thing I do is I set up Facebook groups for the particular products.
Yeah.
So like Pit Boss or Ninja or whatever, I have Facebook groups for there. That a couple of them have 50,000, 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
And so I could go throw that link for the cookbook on there and people will buy it.
Yeah, and that's nice.
So you can't put all your eggs in the YouTube basket. So if anybody is, aspiring, watching this, diversify it, find ways to make other income streams.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good suggestion.
Dude, seriously, I've talked to Tommy about it too. You guys, that you're so dang good on that griddle. There's no reason why you shouldn't have a go-to spot for. I know you have a website where you have your recipes, I'm sure, but like someone that wants a downloadable cookbook, dude, it costs you nothing. I think I pay $4 a month for whatever to host the link, to build the link for it or whatever. But there's no overhead to it. I'm already using Canva for my thumbnails, so the money I pay for that pro version is, built in somewhere else.
Yeah,
but it's worth, the juice is worth the squeeze.
Yeah,
so just
that's a good
put
point.
That in the back of your mind.
Diversification and a little treat for me too. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's I did one and it's on my site. It's free, and then I was trying to get back into it. I don't know if I need to even look at my analytics, see how many people downloaded the darn thing, and it's just one of those things where I started and it's like this podcast. I was afraid to start it that I wouldn't, go through with it, It's just how it is. So yeah, thanks.
Well, with something like that, you have very little to lose, if nothing. You put one out, either it's successful or it's not. You make a couple bucks or you don't. It didn't cost you nothing to do it, except a little bit of your time. And that's what I was telling him as I was writing yesterday. I was like, I didn't feel very accomplished yesterday because I didn't film. I feel like filming gives me a set of accomplishment. Like, I got something done. Even though I released a couple of videos, I did some stuff on Instagram. I spent most of the day writing that cookbook. And she told me, she's like, look, you're going to sell 200 of those things. So the money you're going to make off of that thing definitely makes up for your, sitting most of the day writing. Right.
Yeah.
So she put it in a little perspective.
Yeah. Huh? Still didn't feel fulfilled though, because it wasn't a session, a true session.
Every Friday at the end of the day, I write down a to-do list or goal list for the next week. You know, I have a little notepad by me, and there's 4 different cooks on there that I have not touched yet because I've been shiny object with other things going on. Right? So when I'm not crossing those off, I feel like I've let the team down a little bit, right? You know?
I get it.
So gotta just keep plugging along, man.
Yeah, you do got to keep plugging along and just keep grinding, and you know, eventually, you know, things happen. You know, some success will happen, and you'll find that person at anything. You know, you still want to just kind of, you know, your main community. You know, you still have to make sure we nurture those people. You know, and
for sure.
Even though it don't hit the algorithm just like we want to, we're still fulfilling those people that a lot of them been with us, for the whole 7-8 years, right? So that's what I try to keep. It's like, you know what, 7 of 10, to heck with it. These members that we have, they are fulfilled, you know, and the people that's not a members that still watch, you know, they're fulfilled. So that's what ultimately we got to kind of say, you know what, our community is fed.
Exactly. We're doing some good things for those people too.
We are, especially those heartfelt comments or emails or, you know, instant messages. Hey man, I was in the hospital. You helped me through it. Those are the ones that, man, those get you. And that it's like, all right, I'm doing the right thing. We're good.
I had a guy on Instagram send me videos of his turkey cook using, you know, my recipe and using the smoker outside. And he was just like, dude, this turned out perfect. Thank you for, you know, everything. Like, you don't have to do what you do, and I appreciate it. It's all that stuff, you know, it makes it kind of worth it, and it's a good thing. I've had people reach out, and one guy wanted a Cooking with CJ patch for his chef's coat. I'm like, well, I don't have patches, but I guess his wife is a teacher for some culinary program in Louisiana or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, well, look, man, I don't have that, but let me see what I can find. So
that's slick.
Sent him a hat, sent him some stickers. I had a bunch of instant read thermometers I built from my website that, you know, didn't really do much. So I grabbed a handful of those for the kids in the culinary program. I'm like, dude, pass those out to the kids so they know how to make sure their temperatures are right. Yeah. It was all on my dime, but it was sweet of him to reach out in the story about getting all the kids, and they do catering to support their program at the school. Like, that's freaking awesome, man. And he's like, if you're ever in Louisiana, I'm like, well, I was actually in Louisiana a couple months ago. Me and my son took a road trip from Texas down to New Orleans, and on our way back to Dallas, we drove all the way up through Louisiana. Yeah. And he goes, yeah, you were probably on this freeway or highway, whatever you guys call it. Yeah. And he goes, 20 minutes down the road, you would have been right at our school. I'm like, man, I wish I would have known. I wish we would have had talked. I would have loved to have gone and talked to these kids and done a little cook with them, have some fun with them or whatever. So, you know, never know. I always want to get on the road more. You know, I've said 100 times, man, I want to go in your backyard and cook on your griddle with you. And
man.
I got to film it, right? But I need to get out of the road more.
I want to collaborate more. And sometimes I just, you know, because I have Fridays, you know, and I try to batch my content. I try to do 4 videos on Friday, at least 4, you know, and I feel like if I don't do that, like you said, I feel like I'm inadequate. I feel like I feel like that catalog is over saying, Hussey, feed me, you know? And it's like that catalog, because I want to make sure, if I get sick or something, I could take a week off if I want to, you know? Yeah. And so it's like, how do I collaborate, you know? It's like, because I'm not full-time, you know, I'm working this into, you know, my daily, you know, I do shoot on Fridays. I'm kind of off on Fridays, but it's tough. It's tough. It is. So,
and I see, you know, the other thing is I look up to bigger creators, right? And I see them collaborate with each other. Yeah. Like, you know, the Weitzmans will go to Babish's place or, you know, whatever, right? But dude, they're millionaires, right? Yeah. They make millions of dollars off their thing. Yeah. So for them to pick up and go across country, pay for their team to come with them, you know, whatever, that works for them. Yeah. It doesn't work for me.
Like, well, they were at our spot at one time, you know, and I mean, you know, everybody's path is different. So that's something to keep in mind at least, right?
Like I will get across the country sooner or later. But, for me, I got to watch the finances and put them in a separate bin.
Yeah.
I can't just use my black card and fly out, right?
That's right.
So you got to be a little more strategic for like someone like us. We got to be strategic with the timing of it. Whether you shoot on Fridays or the weekends or whatever, you got to be strategic with the finances of it. Make sure it's going to make sense. The ROI on it's going to be there for you.
Yeah.
I've gone to Texas plenty of times for various reasons, and it's worked out fine. Where I've been able to meet a bunch of them guys and do some barbecue crawls and do some content and all that, and that's worked out great. But I want to go further. Like, I wanted to come out to your spot. I wanted to go see the twins, like up and down Steve Cusado from Not Another Cooking Show.
Yeah, in New York.
Yeah, he was my first guest on the hot seat when he had 1,000 subscribers.
That's right. Yeah, he's a million now, right?
He's over a million. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does this thing in the city called Sunday Suppers. And I think he just put out an episode yesterday. And that's something I want to do. I want to go. He goes to a comedy club.
It's like a
has
supper
restaurant
club
or whatever.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It sets it up with a couple of chefs of his, and they do a big old spread, little Sunday supper. He's an Italian guy, right?
Yep.
And I want to get out to one of those. And not necessarily for content. Obviously I do some, but I just want to see how they do it. Like it's amazing.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about collaboration is we all do things differently, and to see how you might do something different than the way I do it. And I like, just like the book you just recommended, like, dude, you need to do this ebook, dude. And it's something that, I've thought about it, but nobody's really said, kind of pushed you to that. Right. So, but yeah,
I tell you what, when this is over, I'm going to send you one of mine, and I'll, screenshot some stuff or video it or whatever, just to see how really easy it is.
Yeah.
Especially if you have your recipes already kind of put down somewhere.
Yeah. So my website, I really wanted to make a push to, have my recipes there so somebody can have a landing spot to have the recipes. And then eventually I just wanted some documentation if I happen to want to make a book do a book or write a book or I don't know. Did I say that right? I don't know.
It's writing a book, whether you're typing it out or whatever, you're writing.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're right. They're there. The catalog's there.
You're cutting and pasting, baby. Like you pull up some old pics, throw it in there. My recipes are very simple. It's one page, gives you the ingredients, gives you the steps, a picture of the final product, and how long it takes to prep and how long it takes to cook it. Right?
Yeah, interesting.
Simple.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you overcomplicate it, people aren't gonna want to mess with it. So I write it like I'm teaching you, like how to cook for the first time.
Yeah.
And I try to make it as simple as possible, and they've been relatively successful because what's funny. So the Ninja smoker, the outdoor smoker they have.
Yeah. What's that called? The wood fire?
Yeah, it's a wood fire grill.
Yeah.
They came with a recipe book, right? And I was looking at it and I'm like, dude, the ribs that they had on the first page, whatever, look burnt. Like it's not right. So, but they clearly, when they have testing or recipe testing, they're chefs, right? They're culinary trained people that are not barbecue people. Right. So when they ventured into barbecue, they didn't know what they're doing. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I even said that to them too. I'm like, you don't. So the first bunch of my videos were just integrating how to actually do barbecue in this little smoker, throw the book away, my way is better. Right.
Yeah.
And that actually kind of led me to wanting to, I've done the e-cook wish before, but I hadn't really thought about it for this until I saw their recipe guide that comes with it. And I'm like, this is crap.
Yeah.
I need to put one out. Obviously, I need to get some cooks under my belt on it and get it mastered. But I'm like, I got to put something out on this so people, be successful, because it's a $400 machine.
Yeah.
That if you're not going to use it if you're not successful.
Yeah.
You try to make a brisket, it turns out like a brick. It's no one's happy with that.
Yeah.
So I've done some recipes for Ninja for their site, and those recipes have been very successful for them as opposed to what other people have done.
Yeah, you've done. I mean, you have the food. You started out with the foodie, right?
Yeah.
The pressure cooker, air fryer. Yeah, I think it was all in one, right?
My wife got it for me.
An air fryer. So
yeah, it's an air fryer thing. My wife got it for me when we first started kind of doing the stuff a few months in. I'm like, I don't know how to cook on this thing. What am I supposed to do with it? She's like, just figure it out. I'm like, all right. make some videos. And, it just shows how wise the women are in our lives, right?
Right.
I did some videos, and then Ninja hit me up about their outdoor grill or their indoor grill. And I ended up doing some work on it. I got on their infomercial. That was really cool.
Oh, really?
And, yeah. And I started I based my content around it because I niched down quite a bit, but it grew my channel, right?
Yeah.
And then
I would say you're probably the biggest Ninja really pressure cooker. If you're even talking about the whatever XL thing, and I mean everybody has one now because they were so popular back pre-COVID, and they still continue to, right? So you're probably one of the biggest channels that features that all the time, right?
And they still treat me like a redheaded stepchild. Like, it's so weird.
Bless
I did move. They blew through content creators like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
They're always turning and burning on me. I'm a nobody to them. I have a handler that I could call and say, look, I need whatever new product. But for the most part, I'm just kind of on the side. And it's fine.
It's funny. A lot of these, we come in contact with folks all the time, and it seems like they're marketing, and and you think, oh, they're a business. They have a whole big team. And most of the time they are ran thin. And I don't know how well that company treats that person that because they're just churning through folks. Now there's some companies that I deal with that's a lot better, but there's some, but it's like some that's like you said, you get treated like a redheaded stepchild. It's like, dang, sometimes I wonder, like, well, how do they run their business? Is it, because I like to work with good people, but
I like it too. Like, I was hoping, like, you found a home working with Blackstone. I mean, for the most part, right? You got a good relationship. You're part of the team. I wanted that. I wanted that with Ninja. I wanted that with P.O Box or what other the companies I've worked for or with in the past, and it just hasn't turned out that way. And the common denominator is me, so that's kind of one of those things where, is it me? Like, you get a little imposter syndrome sometimes. So
I wouldn't say so. I would just say it's just not your time. Sometimes, my mom always says the cream always rises to the top, Matthew, and sometimes it just depends on the pull at when that happens, and that's patience, and it's tough, and at some point something's going to come along, or that new CEO, or what, what I'm saying, at Ninja or whoever, they're going to say, well, gosh, this guy has done nothing but feature our product left and right, and we've not treated him well, so heck, it could be this podcast that turns them,
just turn around.
Who knows? Who knows?
I get so I watch you with the Blackstone, the thing you did at Salt Lake or whatever.
Yeah,
dude, I am so jealous when I see that stuff in a smiling kind of way, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and
I would love to hang out with you guys and all the Griddle crew and all that. Like, I don't need to be a part of the crew. Like, I just want to go hang out with y'all. Y'all were in one spot. I'm like, I just sneak in. No one will know me. I'll just hide behind Hussey. Like, we'll be fun. Like, I just want to hang out. You come
along with me. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, how do I get invited to that, man?
I tell you, they really I feel like, I don't want to make this about me at all, or about what I do, but they really poured in a lot of love to this whole to the Griddle crew, the Griddle pros, and like I said, I like working for good people and marketing folks. The owner Roger, just super good people, and they just love people that love their products, and
I hear you.
And it shows. So
I dig it. I've been watching Blackstone Betty for years. Yeah, man, she's a knockout. I love watching her. CJ, all them guys. Todd Tobin. I've been watching that cat forever too.
He's the reason I'm here.
He's the OG, right? I mean, he's the one. You got it going.
Yep.
And it's amazing to see the growth of it. I mean, I've had a Blackstone since I started the channel, basically.
Yeah, and you cooked on that 17 for a long time, right?
Yeah,
and
that was my.
You got a bigger one, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, and I love the product, but I was watching to see how to do it right, and I was watching those guys do it. They have a great team over there, like you say, the owners and all the people have been great. It's awesome to watch. It's a family, So I'm happy for you to see that they take you seriously and brought you part of the team, and
I appreciate
value you and what you bring to the table. So got them good groceries. I love it.
I appreciate it. But, you know, just as you have, no, you know, this is what you do. You pour it in. You poured a lot of hard work, and I think somebody's going to come along and they're going to see that your dedication has helped them a lot, and hopefully they see that. And if it's not Ninja, hopefully it's somebody else. Be great if it's Blackstone too. Wink.
Hey,
yeah.
You
So
never know.
you never know.
Just show them this. Show them the podcast. Like,
well, I don't know when this is going to air,
hey.
but yeah, we're you know, hey, this is what we're out here doing. You know what I'm saying?
I don't care about, you know, the crew or not, but like one of these days I just want to get with you guys, like in one room with, you know, CJ and Betty and you and all that, and just,
dude, it's a blast.
Shoot the breeze for a bit and just hear.
It's just like this right here. We're just jawing at one another. Poor Betty, she calls them purple onions, and there's just jokes going all the time. And CJ, he's a catch, and it's got a good name too, by the way, CJ.
Yeah. Well, it's funny is I get tagged in so many Blackstone videos
from him. Yeah.
Yeah. People think, you know, just they see a CJ and they throw that shot.
Yeah.
So
everybody.
There's enough room for two CJs in this world.
I think so. Yeah. Nate's great. Todd, I mean, it's all really good. We got something coming up soon. I think in January we're going to head down to Florida and do some shooting. So.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Shoot, I got my little bullet points here. Well, this is big. And again, some of these people may be aspiring YouTubers. There may be people, small creators, just like you and I were not long ago. Let's talk about like food that you like to cook versus food that does well for the algorithm. And how do you combat that? Are you a slave to the algorithm? And are you going to do smash burgers every month or, you know, something like that?
You know, that's the challenge. I have, you know, a lot of cooking knowledge, right?
Yeah.
But I find that the algorithm likes simpler stuff.
They do. Yeah.
Right. You know, so, you know, smash burgers or pulled pork on the foodie or what, you know, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
So there's a challenge to, I don't try to chase the algorithm so much, because if you're not getting joy out of it, what's the point? Right.
Yeah.
If you're not getting a little fulfillment, you know, like you said, you can't do smash burgers every week.
Right.
You know, you do variations, whatever, but like you just can't. So I try to, when I plan out my shoots for the week or the month or whatever, I try to have some stuff that'll placate towards the algorithm, what's going to hit. Right. So I'll do a lot of the big proteins in the wood fire do well. Right. So
yeah,
I try to gear a couple videos towards that. Right.
Right.
And then I'll do a couple videos from me.
Yeah.
And then, you know, or put a little, you know, culinary, you know, not expertise, but, you know, twist to it, right? You know, a little learning, right?
Yeah.
And then on Facebook, they just want crap thrown together. Like throw it in a crock pot and it'll do good, right?
They just want to pick up the spaghetti and just throw it to the freaking wall, see what sticks.
It's funny. I've done 5 ingredients, whatever. Or I did like shrimp boil in the oven type thing, and just got blasted on, but it got a million views.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I used canned potatoes. Now I grew up with canned potatoes. My mom, you know, like I said, she would buy the easy shit, right? I had no problem with it. Like, cool. So I threw canned potatoes, and literally there's 1,000 comments, but half of them are about using canned potatoes. I'm like, they taste fine. So,
dude, you should recap that video and just do nothing but canned potatoes, and cheese.
So we built 2 pantries. So we have our normal pantry for like, you know, family style, but our house, you know, has one of those indentations for like your TV and the wall unit and all that jazz, right? Yeah. But our TV's
bigger than the hole now.
Our TV's too big for it.
Yeah.
So that TV's on the other wall. So what we did was we took that little cutout, threw big old shelves in it, and then put barn doors in front of it. And that is now my pantry, right?
Oh, that's nice.
I have at least 4 cans of canned potatoes in there for future videos, just as a big, you know, thumb my nose at whoever.
That's exactly what I would do. I would be like,
today would be like, I'm going to pour canned potatoes and drop it and walk out of the frame.
Like, I'm going to show you how to make canned potatoes.
Exactly.
And just in the video.
No, take a long time with the can opener, right? Yep. And then there's a little salt. So, you know, hey, it is what it is. So I know, I have, you know, Instagram and TikTok want those short form videos that are quick hitting, you know, frame. Don't want a lot of talking. So I put out a video. I made chicken soup on a TikTok or whatever in a 15-second video because it was a quick, no talking, right?
Hate those things though.
I hate it too.
I don't
But
like them.
TikTok messed up America's attention span.
Did.
Literally. I mean, I blame TikTok. I mean, I'm not getting political or nothing like that, but TikTok ruined attention spans for America. So, and that's why you see Instagram drop the Reels or put the Reels program in, YouTube putting a Shorts program in. Same with, I guess the whole Meta universe, right? Yeah. They wanted to jump on that attention span.
I get it. I know why you have to do it, but at the end of the day, I don't like it, man. There's no personal touch to it at all. It's hard to get personal.
But if you read the paper or if you believe the papers, TikTok's going away in January. So
I mean, I'm not going to say I'll be very excited, but I'll be pretty excited. Yeah. But still, Facebook's going to be around. TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube now has Shorts. So
all of those will shoot up.
Absolutely.
People I just feel like their content somewhere.
I feel like that's just going to make YouTube bigger, and then shorts are still around. So
I'll drop them. Like when I do like you said, you have that app that puts it on everything, right? Popper or whatever. I'll shoot a video for Instagram, but I'll put it on all the platforms, even a YouTube short.
Now, do you use any kind of scheduler like that? You use any? You just do it. You just schedule yours. Okay.
Yeah, I'll schedule out my YouTube videos. Yeah. I'll schedule out the Facebook videos as I make them. But when I'm doing short form content, I just release it everywhere. Like it's easy for me to upload, and then I'll put a caption and I'll cut and paste that caption on the other stuff. It don't take much to do it.
It just sometimes I don't know why. It just either something comes in, something. And maybe it's just my attention span. Maybe I don't know, but it was just really hard, and I don't know if I'm in love with this software, and I don't know if I really. It seems like stuff that I post with this poster, like I don't get the views like if I was to do it natively. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like what you're doing. So I'm like, dude,
well, give it a go. Next week, give it a go. Try to do it natively. That's the thing you gotta remember, and anybody watching this is you gotta move and groove with things. Don't be stagnant. Don't be set in your ways. Yeah. Because once you're set in your ways,
unless that's what you want to be. If you want to be if you want to be like you, we're going to get into that here in a minute. Shoot, we're talking. Dang, we're almost an hour into this and we're having fun, but still, we're going to get into kind of some stuff that you're into now. But yeah, if you're if you just want this as a hobby, screw you, man. I'll do it the way I want to do it. Don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you want to make a job out of it, you really need to kind of
need to move and groove. If you want to make some cash, you got to move and groove with it. And it's not always the best thing, and not going to make you happy one way or another, whatever. But you got to flow, and it's one of those things. That I'll tell people. Like people ask me what I do, I'm like, I'm a YouTuber, and they look at me sideways. I'm like, look, man, I'm a fat, bald, middle-aged YouTuber, and I make a living at it, right? Yeah. That's the funny thing is I make a living, and most of the people that are asking me and look at me sideways, I make more than them for what I do. Yeah. And I get to do what I like for a living.
People find it really. They're like, how do you make money from that? And it's like, well, you see the ads right on YouTube, and like, yeah. I was like, well, that's how you do it.
Whether you watch them or not, you skip it or not, we get a piece, like a very small piece, but we get a piece.
Yep, that's right.
And the same with, Facebook set up a monetization program, so you got that. Instagram is working on one, I hear, so you may see more effort in that. TikTok is just crap. I'll just tell you right now. They have
somebody said the other day, they were like, man, so and so, this person has a million followers on it. TikTok, they're bringing it down with money. I'm like, they're not. He's like, what? I was like, bro, people are leaving TikTok unless you stream, unless you're a live streamer. Live streamers, I don't know how they get their money though. I was like, bro, how many ads do you see on TikTok? He said, I don't see any. I was like, well, how are they making their money?
The TikTokers that do the live streaming make money off of what people put on there. Because you could buy
the flowers or whatever.
That's how they get money.
That just seems weird to me.
Yeah, it does. And I've done one TikTok live just to see. And the funny thing is, if I wanted to put more work into it, I could do a lot more. Yeah. But it's just, what's the point where you're just dragging ass every day?
Yeah.
And
I know.
and not being happy or fulfilled, right? So,
Unless you have a team for you, right? That
unless you
just
have a
the
team.
guy, this person's job is to just film you, you know,
Yeah.
like if
Yeah.
you're, you know, like a AB or somebody, right? So
Right.
But-
We may get there. And knock on wood, I hope we do. And that's my goal, right? I got the goals. So
I hope you do too. I'd like to see it. So
yeah, I think I could do a lot better if I had someone ahead of me on the back end, right? But the ROI right now, I don't know if it's there, and I'm not ready to take that leap on it, you know? So it'll get there. I'm actually
at how many subscribers now? How many are you? We should
62.
160. That's pretty good though. You know,
that's not bad. It's
I
not
said that,
anywhere I thought I'd be, right?
Yeah, when we first started, did you ever think you'd be here?
Well, the goal was 100,000, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like you wanted that plaque. I got the play button over my shoulder already.
Yeah.
Like you wanted that, and then I didn't really know what else is after that. But I hit the 100,000.
How did you feel with that?
Elated. Like
I
was pumped up. I was relieved. Because I had been working so hard. In 3 months prior, every video was like, "Yo, we're trying to get to 100,000. Hit that subscribe, whatever."
Yeah.
And I was glad that I didn't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
We did a huge party here. It was
that's right. I remember that now.
Yeah, we did a huge party. Had everybody.
Josh was there, right?
Yeah, Josh was here.
Hey, Josh and him, yeah.
Yeah, Louise from Bitchy Baker, or not Bitchy Baker. What's that? Salted Pepper.
I hope she was there. She was there.
She helped. Yeah, so the Bitchy Baker was there. Dude, we did a whole thing, and I was planning on going live while right before, or before it hit the 100,000, but during the morning it hit the 100,000 before I could get people over here and set up.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, kind of anticlimactic with that, but
yeah.
We got there. We had people over. We barbecued and cooked. Had a couple of cameras going on the live stream.
Yeah.
It was like 4 or 5 hours of just having fun. And I loved it. But after it was done, it was like, well, shoot, what's next? Like, what are we going to do?
That's, I was a little, I remember now when you said that, I was like, man, I was a little jealous about the way you did things.
Yeah.
I'm not jealous in a bad way, but I was like, I didn't do hardly anything. This is typical Hussey fashion. I'm like, I didn't really, like, I felt the accomplishment when I got the thing on my front door, and I was just like, but when I got it, I was like, okay, my work's not done, and I didn't feel like, and I had my goal was similar to yours, 100,000. That's all. But, once you got into it, it's like, wow, there's bigger things, right? You got freaking Mr. Beast level, it's like, which we'll never see. I hope you can see it, but that's just unattainable.
Well, for me,
but,
like, I guess the next goal would be 1 million for the next play.
1 million, yeah, the next.
But for me to get, I average like 50,000 subscribers a year, give or take. And I know as you grow, the more you get, right? Yep. But dude, it would take me another 20 years to get there.
I know. And that's very
or whatever. And
saddening.
Hey, Lord willing, I'm still doing this. Because this is my retirement plan too, right? Like I could be 70 and making videos, right?
The camera's right there beside your pool. Here you come with your walker with the tennis balls on it. Be like,
hello. Put my readers on to get the thing on. And I still have a whiskey in my hand or whatever. And I'm like, all right, today we're gonna make some stuff on a shingle,
Swedish meatballs.
We gotta have some soft food today. My dentures aren't quite working right, so we're gonna have a little pudding. We're gonna make some pudding today. So I just, I want to get there. I'm gonna keep working. We talked about it before the show. Like I got laid off from my corporate gig of 20 some odd years. We took a leap, decided to do this full time, and I don't want to go back.
Has that been about a year now or more?
It's been, it was June 23.
So we're a little over a
year now, and I've managed to stay full time.
I remember we talked. There was you were scared, obviously.
I'm still scared.
Still scared.
Every day, I think like, am I going to make enough money this month?
Yeah.
Luckily, I have support with my wife. If I don't, for whatever reason, but the bills are paid. And we're still doing things. We're still going on vacations. Whatever.
Worst comes to worst, you got those potatoes. You can bake you some potatoes.
When we're done right now, I'm gonna get those potatoes out. I'm gonna make a potato video.
And again, I say jealous. I'm just like, that's kind of what ideally what you have is what I'd like to do. We talked about it before we was on this call. Like, man, And you was like, well, what's holding you back? You know, it's like, well, stability, you know, it's tough. It's tough to let go of that, but
It
you know,
is. It is. And I guarantee you, if I hadn't been laid off, I'd still be working there.
yeah,
It just is
yeah,
what it is. But, you know, it was a time, you know, I worked in the mortgage industry. Rates went up way high. And when that does it, you know, people get
yeah,
laid off. Before
yeah,
I got laid off, like I was a manager. Before I got laid off, I laid off 20 people on my own. Like I had a team of like 30 people and I had to lay off 20 people.
yeah,
And then it was finally my time to get the phone call. You know, it just
yeah.
is what it was.
Dude, that's
So
tough.
it was the push I needed. And I've seen that story with a lot of YouTubers we've watched through the
Yeah,
years. Like,
yeah,
you remember Mark Thompson, Soft Stash?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So many
Vegan
years
guy, right?
ago.
He makes
Yeah,
a lot of really cool things. Yeah,
he's doing great. I think he has 500,000 subscribers. He, you know,
yeah,
does real well. I think his story is the same. He got laid off from his gig from, you know, whatever he was doing for a long time. And he's like, all
yeah.
right, we're going to make a go of it. We're going to figure it out. And that's what I've done. I've figured it out. You know, I've
So,
partnered with enough people and, you know, managed to find sponsorships or, you know, affiliates or, you know, the cookbooks, anything and everything to get those income streams in. And what's funny is it's not like we're having, you know, we're not getting paid on the 2nd and 3rd or, you know, 15th and the 30th, whatever. I get money throughout the week. Like I check my bank account every morning and like, or PayPal or whatever. I'm like, oh, I made $20 last hour, you know, like it's just, or, you know, someone sent me a couple $100. I'm like, all right, cool. Like it's just weird how the money comes in, but it comes in. You know,
it is a really weird way of making money. You're right. Yeah,
it is very weird.
The whole spectrum, even, you know, with making money on YouTube and just affiliates and stuff. Yeah,
and it's funny thing, like I said before the show, is I went from having a steady paycheck to a business owner overnight. You know, I had to learn how to do all that stuff. You know, and do it well. You know, I wasn't keeping track of stuff that I made before I got the corporate job. It was just part of the fun money we mess with.
Yeah.
Now, you know, and got the accounting software. I got, you know, an LLC, and it's the whole thing. You know, you got to be smart with it.
Another thing that you never thought when we first started, you know, on that YouTube, Facebook group that
I thought it was going to be fun. You know, it was a creative outlet. I met some people. It was a thing, and then you know, we took over that hot seat from Hobo, and I started making a little cash and being silly. And then once we did that for about 3 years, give or take a little bit, like 3.5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, I said, once my YouTube revenue out earned the hot seat, you know, what we were making off the super chats and all that, then I'd pass it along. I'd pass the torch.
Yeah.
And it finally did. And we were just like, all right. And it was time anyway. It played, of course, for us. Yeah. I was tired of chasing people every week. And
dude, you hit that hard. I mean, you still hit it hard. You've always been a very hard worker. And if anything, I could say, you know, you've always been loyal and a hard worker. I've always said you're one of the hardest workers that I've seen or I know. I appreciate just by how much you grind, how much, you know, you're at it. So I commend you for that.
Thanks. I hate failing. You know, I in any part of my life, career, whatever, I've always been the best in the top. I was a top performer in my company. You know, my team was the top team, whatever, right? You know, I wanted to be the best at football, even though I wasn't, right? Like I always strive to be better, right?
Yeah.
So I want to be the best at doing this, and I am far from the best.
Yeah.
But I work hard, and that's it, man. I grind at this, and I try to make it successful.
Well, it shows, and I mean, you know, if you want to set any kind of celebration, if it's a good kudos from Hussey over here, you know, I'm always a fan of yours. So,
ditto, right back at you, man. You know,
you know, we always think you know, I'm very similar to you, and I don't know if I'm like want to be the best, but I just want to be proficient, and I want to put out a good product, you know. And my wife's always like, "Oh, you're so competitive." And I was like, "Well, I don't want to like." I also have, once I finally got this mentality, it's like, look, Hussey, somebody's out there always going to have a bigger boat than you. You know, I don't have a boat, but it's just a figuratively thing, right? Somebody's always going to be out. There's going to be, you know, like even billionaires. I mean, Elon Musk, I mean, he's there, but there's probably some Dubai guy that probably got him, you know, but
probably.
But, you know, there's always somebody, and it's like, you know what, just keep plugging along, keep your morals, keep your, you know, and just keep going, just keep plugging. People see it.
Be the best Hussey you can be. I'll be the best CJ I can be. And
that's right.
And good things will happen. And they've happened.
Yeah.
Good things have happened to us throughout this whole thing. Well, whether it was our first free knife or first barbecue rub company that reached out, or
Yeah. Yeah.
all that stuff. It's
At the end of the day,
good things happen.
a lot of good things
made.
happen. That's right. So let's get to a little bit of the cooking, right? So you do pellet smokers, you got a griddle, you got your wood fire, you got your pressure cookers, air fryers, all that. So that's a big part of you, right?
Yeah, I do everything. That's why I put cooking with CJ and not, you know,
you don't want to like
CJ or whatever.
Yeah, you don't want to pigeonhole yourself. That's right.
Yeah. So my backyard is full of cookers, smokers, whatever. I have a big offset, cabinet smokers, pellet smokers, Weber kettles, S&S kettles. Like I collect them all. Like, and I love cooking on everything. I before this channel, I had an old kettle from like Sears that I bought when I was 19, and I burned everything on it.
Yeah.
So I decided, I love.
Was it a Sears model, like a Sears Roebuck?
I think it was a Sears model. I don't even think it was a Weber.
Yeah.
And I decided I wanted to. I love barbecue. I'm sure you do too. And I can't find a lot of good bar. I mean, it's better these days, but I couldn't find a lot of good barbecue in Southern California. Right? So I decided to learn it myself. Spend a lot of time watching YouTube. I go to barbecue joints. We go to Texas or whatever, and just decided like I can hang with the best of them. And I'll say that right away. Like I feel like I've learned enough about barbecue. I've studied it. I've done it. I have enough experience that I can put out a platter in front of you that you'd want to pay for, and that's good enough for me.
Oh,
so,
I have no doubt.
Yeah, and
out of all those items in your backyard and in your kitchen, what's your favorite?
Tell you what, man, that kettle. The kettle is the one thing I can do.
It's kind of like like a Swiss Army knife,
Swiss Army knife, straight up. You can smoke on it, you grill on it, you can bake in it, the whole bit, right? I love a kettle, and I work with S&S grills. They built a kettle, they sent me, and I use it. I love it. I used their insert for years.
That's got it where you can do like a pork butt. You can do barbecue on one side, and it also has a spin grate in it as well.
Yeah, which I don't necessarily use too much. Like I don't go from cold to hot or whatever. I do a lot of reverse searing, flip it, whatever. The basket, is a clever design, but there was charcoal baskets in it before, but it's kind of like a snake method, sort of, where you burn one side to the other,
just keeps
on water trough to keep it moist. Yeah, it's a good product. I mean, it does what it says it's gonna do, and I've had nothing but success with it.
Yeah, I remember what's his name, Dave. He and I reached out. Dave Parrish. Yeah, he's in North Carolina, like Concord area.
Oh, right on.
Cool story. My neighbor right here beside of me bought his Tesla off him. Crazy. Go. Yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, Dave has always been good to us. We had him on the hot seat way back in the day, and I still work with their team. They send me products or whatever, and I got a relationship with them, so I'm not necessarily trying to get paid off of what they send me.
Yeah, right.
Just because we've had such a long time friendship with that crew.
Yeah.
I don't do anything necessarily specific or one way or another, but if they send me something, I'm going to use it. I rock it.
Yeah.
And I'll put some content on it, nothing making production value stuff out of their stuff, but I like the product, so I'm going to continue to use it. Right.
That's probably one of the most, whenever you have a product you just like to use, there's no really a big obligation or anything, but you just love the product. They're not pressuring you to do anything. I like those kinds of relationships,
Me
it's
too.
like, look, man, I just love it. And I use it. Do I make any money off of it? Not really. Do I get a free product? Maybe. But this is what I use, though, it's fun that you have those relationships. It makes it so much better because, man, some of those brands you work with, they are. You need to do this, and that's why I don't do a lot of them. I just don't, because I don't want that stress.
I'll tell you what, the wood fire is a great product, right? It definitely has a niche with people that live in apartments or have balconies or campers or whatever.
Shoot, yeah. Go on vacation,
yeah. And but I tell you what, man, if I'm not doing content, I'm usually not using it too much because I do so much on it that I want to get out and mess with my other stuff. Right?
Yeah, that's not as fun, right? Playing with fire.
I like messing with my stuff.
We're like cavemen,
Yeah. It's funny is I did a Blackstone video with the regular Blackstone and the electric one years ago when it came out. The E-Series one, and I still get hits on it today. People still talk about it.
Really, I don't even have one. I don't have it. I need to get one of those E-Series, as they say. A lot of people like them.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, they're great indoor, cookers, right? I have a
it's better than that. What is it, like a Presto
Oh,
one
yeah.
of those rectangular griddles,
Yeah, yeah, the
they
old
got to be
school
better than
electric
that,
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a Ninja griddle that I
Oh,
use indoors.
yeah.
Uh,
They work pretty good.
same thing. Same thing.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
same griddle plate. It's
Yeah.
non-stick, whatever.
Gotcha.
Same. It's just good for quick videos.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Sometimes you just don't want to go outside. I mean, you live in a nice place where it's always
my
pretty
problem,
nice.
so I have a great backyard and it's great for the pictures and the videos, but the problem is we're on not a main street, but like a inlet street to the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So there's cars going by the whole time, right?
I see.
And
Yeah.
I feel like people can hear that. So a lot of the cuts in my videos are when cars go by, right? Or
I need to ask Jacob.
gardeners.
Yeah, well,
People
Jacob,
working on their houses or whatever, filming outdoors is a pain in the neck sometimes.
dude, tell me about it.
I know you do. I know you know.
Well, Jacob, I was going to tell you, I need to get with him to see what he's been using. These guys were cutting my yard, man, and it drastically cut them out to where you really didn't even know they were there.
Oh, really? Wow.
I'll have to ask him. I think he uses DaVinci Resolve. It might be a plug-in for that, but it's some kind of noise thing. But he sent me, I mean, he just came up on it. And so there's some you can hear it, but then it's done pretty good. I'll have to maybe pick his brain. He'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Let me know. But yeah, I mean, if I had to get rid of everything, I'd keep that kettle and little charcoal, a little wood chunk or two.
I've never had a kettle.
Can't go wrong. You've never had a kettle?
Nope.
Good Lordy, son.
I've never had, I got a big green, I got a big green egg and then I got a large and a medium, and that's kind of, was my gateway, but I've never, and I do feel like I've missed the mark not having a kettle sometimes. So,
and the thing is, they're relatively inexpensive. You can buy them for like $100 and a half, something like that. Yeah. I would seriously, if I were you, man, go out and grab one this weekend. Just get out there, get it. Don't do content, just have some fun with it. It's such an easy thing to use, and it's fun. It brings you back too. You go old school, baby. Like they were doing kettles in the 60s.
I know.
Like,
now I had those ones from Walmart. The one that they're like $30. They're so cheap. Right. And I had one of those maybe 10 before I had my big green egg. Right. And that's what kind of got me to wanting. I was like, man, I want one of those big green eggs. I said, if I can ever get to where I can afford one of these things, I'm getting one of them suckers. Yeah. And that's what I got. And it kind of is the same thing, but I like the kettle, the space that you have, a lot more than a big green egg. So
right.
But
that's the only thing I don't have in my backyard is a Kamado of some sort, and that's the only thing I really want, but not enough to go out there and buy one. Like if a company hits me up or whatever, I'll grab it. But it's not that.
Yeah, they're good. They're good to have. I love them.
Yeah. Well, them big green eggs
I get that.
Quite
they're
pricey,
expensive,
right? Yeah. So if one shows up on my doorstep,
Kamado Joe. Yeah. Well, you never know. Kamado Joe has kind of, they kind of came in and ate away at some of their margin, and they used to be cheaper, than a big green egg. But now I think they're at
probably
the same
comparable
price, if not more. But the one cool thing about the Joes that I believe is they come with a lot more stuff to get started, like the deflector plate. Stuff like that. Yeah.
But that's it. We can go from there.
The kettle. So now you got
your starting point.
Now you've made me have this burning desire to go buy a kettle. My wife will absolutely be thrilled for me to bring one of those suckers in.
I'm sure she will. She'll not clean up the spot. She'll sweep it out for you. It's one of those things. If I were talking to anybody who want to get in the barbecue, get one of those. Start off. You don't spend money on a big old pellet smoker or a big old whatever. Get some charcoal. Get your hands a little dirty. Have some fun.
Pellet grills are nice.
Yeah, they serve a purpose.
But as far as if you want barbecue, I think there's better ways.
I agree.
What I do like is they're very convenient and very easy to use and hands off, But anyhow, that's another topic.
Any cooker out there, man, they have their place.
Yeah.
Every that's why we have so many. It's like they have their place in our day to day. And if you need a quick, quote unquote barbecue rib, then throw it in the little pellet grill.
Yeah.
But if you got all day, you get that offset out, and you want to spend some time drinking your diet cheer wine and feed it, little splits all day, get your offset out. Hang out.
Dude, that's my best pastime right there, man. Yeah. But time. It's hard to get that time. But
And that time is not a lot of something, or is not something a lot of people have.
Not 16 hours of it feeding
not
splits.
16 hours to feed a freaking offset, right?
But I tell you what I have been doing. I'll start the thing on the offset, and I'll finish it on the pellet grill.
Nice. Well, I learned from old Harry Sue that BTU is BTU, right? So once you get your brisket or your pork butt smoked or whatever, and you're ready to wrap it up, throw it in the oven.
Yeah.
Don't
once you wrap it, might as well.
Once it's wrapped, your heat.
Might as well.
So it doesn't. You don't need to spend another 6 hours, stoking the fire or wasted pellets or whatever. Just throw it in your oven. Most of my barbecue cooks end up with it in the oven.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly that was my thought process. And a guy, he bought a brisket. He was like, man, he said, I want you to cook this brisket for me. I was like, hey, I'll do that. And I want to do it right for him, but I also had some crap to do, Yeah,
of course.
And I wanted to be able to monitor this thing for what I had to do, check on my app,
Right.
So I was like, all right, I'm going to give this thing a good 4 to 5 hours of my attention. I'm going to get this bark right. It's going to smell good. It's going to taste good. And I want to sling this sucker in the pellet grill and finish it off. And dude was like, this is the best brisket of my life, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, and I felt like I cheated him though a little bit, but he liked it. So that's all that mattered.
You put some even decent barbecue in front of anybody.
Yeah.
The average Joe, man, they're going to love it.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
I did a catered banquet for the band last year, where I did brisket, pulled pork, some chicken, and I had literally 6 of my smokers going at once. I was running like that, the offsets, the pellets, both the kettles were going, like it was insane. And everybody was complimenting me. And then there was one guy who knows barbecue, and he was like, yeah, it could have been it was great, but we've had better. I'm like, I get it. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But the majority of the people, like, we ran out of meat. We ran out. And that's a good thing right there. Like, that we had something that people dug,
Dude, that's the thing. Barbecue restaurants that really sling out really good barbecue consistently is a pretty difficult thing to do.
For sure.
But they have their Franklin's and your, Goldies and all that, and they just.
But how long did it take him to come up with the method, right? The process.
I'm sure it took them a while to figure it out.
And when I was in Texas a couple of weeks back, and I was hanging out with the Dogfather. And,
love
we
that
went
guy.
and we grabbed some barbecue, and we're chatting. He's like, so many of these guys come from other places. So like, Johnny from wherever worked at Franklin's, right? Or whoever at Goldie's worked at Franklin's, whatever.
Yeah.
So they learned the process from one main cat, right? And then, maybe tweaked it a little bit over the years, but they know that Franklin puts out consistent, tasty barbecue, right?
Yeah, you had John Lewis, he's went off on his own. He came from not Blacks, but La Barbecue, right? And then, but he was Franklin's guy for the longest time, and then now he's.
And a lot of the guys came from the Mueller family, It's a whole thing out there. And we went to Louis Mueller's spot a couple years back and met Wayne Mueller, talked to him. I got to bust his butt a little bit how good Southern California barbecue is, and I actually have it on film. I was on him like, but this was great. But have you tried Southern California barbecue? And he just looked at me sideways, and we laughed.
Like, boy, what you talking about?
Well, you don't know nothing about nothing. Right? So it's
they have that big pit in the middle thing, right? Is that where that's at?
That's Salt Lake.
That's Salt Lake.
Okay. Yeah. The one at Mueller's is these old ass pits that been there for 50 years or whatever it is. It's very cool. They obviously he took us around. And, I did a little bit on my barbecue channel. I did a little vlog for it. It was a sight to see. And then they put out a big old spread for us, and that was very cool too.
Yeah, very good. So the kettle has to be your favorite.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So this is always pretty cool. Have you ever, cooking any kind of recipe that you've done, have you cooked something that you didn't like, or you just canned it, or did you say, man, this is good, but it wasn't quite as good as you planned?
Cooks where I eat it and like it was an idea of something that I thought would be good, where I've been like, dang, that's good right there.
Yeah.
And, I do that, fair amount of time, right? But,
yeah.
there's been some cooks where I've messed up, and
Yeah.
I couldn't name a particular one, but there was no magic of editing that was going to save that one. So we had to
Can't.
scrap the
Yeah.
filming, right?
That sucks, though. You know, all that time and effort. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things you'll know about me is I don't like condiments, right? Mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup. I don't put dressing on my salads.
No Duke's mayo.
No Duke's mayo.
We got to end this right now. I'm so. I was
It's over. Well, good talking to you.
All right. Thanks, CJ, for coming on. I'll see you later.
Cheers. So like I like barbecue sauce. I like hot sauce, but any kind of sauces I don't like, right? So for me, it limits a lot of the cooking I do because I can't add or I can't
slather it with something.
Yeah, I can't slather anything on them, right? So I find different ways to make that up. So it actually kind of jogs my creativeness, I guess.
Yeah.
I did some videos that aren't out yet. I did some videos that aren't out yet for Fietti's Flavored Town Cookware.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So they reached out, and I love anything Guy Fieri.
Are they pretty good? Yeah, I like the guy too. I think some people said that he's, there's always, people like, oh, he's not a good guy. He's not, but then you hear really, really good stories, and I feel like he's probably a good guy.
I think he's a good
guy.
Yeah. I mean, like behind me, what's it this way? No, I have the box of cigars, his cigars. I have his sauces behind me, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have his knives, like hats. Like Guy Fieri is my guy. Like I really, I strive to meet him one day. So when they reached out for me to do content for him, and it's not even him, it's a company that does his cookware. I'm I'm gonna put effort in these videos, and like hopefully he sees them, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did a big burger for one of the videos, and I put donkey sauce is one of his sauces. It's like a mayonnaise based sauce, right?
Gotcha.
It needed to be done for the video, right? I did big queso smasher, put the donkey sauce over it, and I'm like, the smell, like I can't handle it. Like this is my thing. So I put it on there, took all the pictures, and even in the video, I'm like, now you may be asking, is he going to eat this on camera? Because it's a big monstrosity. I'll send you a picture when we're done. And no, he's not. I said, I have enough time keeping this off straight for you guys in the video. If I try to eat this, it'll be everywhere. It's game over, right?
Right.
The thing is, I could not eat it. So I ended up honestly trashing it. Like I can't eat sauce. Like any of that stuff. It does not appeal to me. And I try it. I'm not like a bad person where I won't try something and be like just turn my nose about it.
Yeah.
I'll try stuff, but like I don't like it. So, In-N-Out burgers are a big deal in California, right?
Yeah.
Love them. Grew up on my thing, right? If one little piece of because they bunch all the burgers together in the box, and my wife likes their spread, their special whatever,
special sauce or whatever that is.
If that stuff gets like a corner on just a tiniest little dab on my burger, I'm ripping half that bun off, or God forbid I actually get it in my mouth and just turns my gut.
Just a little bit of the pickle
the
relish.
way I'm built. Relish, any of that stuff, nothing.
Yeah.
I like
That's interesting.
But the thing is, I like my burgers plain because it tastes good too. I get cheeseburgers, it has plenty of grease or flavor. It's not dry.
Yeah. I'm feeling kind of hungry just thinking about this. I don't know if it's mayonnaise
I know,
or
I'm about
something.
to go get a burger.
I want a burger now.
So that's one of the hard parts I deal with is I just don't like condiments.
Yeah.
And
that's interesting.
like I cooked with AB one time and we made burgers or like breakfast burger things, and he made a little sriracha mayo, put it on there. I took that bite, did it, I smiled through it and I got it down.
Yeah.
But I did not finish that burger in one way or shape or form. Like it was all right.
Now the sriracha you like, right? You like sriracha?
Yeah, I like hot sauce like mixed in with stuff.
Yeah.
Like I made a soup, I put hot sauce in there.
Yeah.
A little gravy.
So it's just the mayonnaise.
I like
It's the mayonnaise you really don't care
mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard, relish, and I don't like.
Yeah.
Stay away from it. But I'll put hot sauce in my gravy. My sausage gravy, because I like a little heat. Right?
Yeah. Gotta have that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like it on top. I don't put it in it. I put it, when I have biscuits and gravy, I put Texas Pete on top of it. Yeah.
Right. The thing is, I don't mind heat. Like I'll take some heat, man. I like some spice.
Yeah.
But as long as it tastes good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if it just is burning your butt to burn your butt, that's not fun for me. I don't.
Dude, I'm with you.
Right?
I like a little bit of heat, not much, but nothing that's gonna just talk to me really hard the next day, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you don't want to have to deal with. You don't want to have to deal with it on both ways,
The old toothless one, we speaking down there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's hurting you, baby. It's hurting you. You're praying for a different reason right there.
Oh my gosh, why did I do
my
that?
God. I mean, good Lord, please. That's it is what it is.
Yeah.
But obviously, I've managed to deal with it. And
Yeah. Well, people, what's cool is you learn things about people. People just, don't like what they don't like. Like my wife, there's certain things she don't like mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Almost didn't marry her because of it.
I understand.
But,
I know you're a big Dukes guy.
Dukes guy.
Stuff, man.
I put on, a lot of it. Now I do love mayo, and Dukes is my thing. Right. Will I eat a Hellman's? Will I, I will. Kraft. My mama, she would buy what was on sale a lot of times. Yeah, if Kraft, she had a coupon, and it was double coupon day, and it was Kraft. We had Kraft in the dang house at that time. Now, what was her go-to? She liked the Dukes now, but Kraft ain't bad just as long as it wasn't Miracle Whip. So, but
I've heard that before.
Yeah, it's salad dressing, But to be honest with you, it's not bad. I mean, it's creamy. It's very sweet. You would use it for maybe like a 7-layer salad or something like that, maybe. But anyway,
see, I just don't like vinegar either. So all that stuff has vinegar in it.
Boy, you wouldn't like North Carolina, boy. Our sauce here, boy, it's
I know
a lot of vinegar.
I've heard that too.
But you know what? I mean, as far as me, as far as in my barbecue, I'm kind of like middle of the road. I like the vinegar stuff. I like a little tang, but also like sweet, and I like that thickness, kind of like a Kansas City so I kind of take Kansas City and I marry it with North Carolina is kind of how I roll, or Lexington, North Carolina, not Western, or Eastern, sorry. But yeah.
I think you can find that a lot of barbecue works well, like regional works well together.
Yeah.
And that's what you'll find out here where I'm at, is we've taken pieces from all over the world, or country, I guess, as it were. We've managed, you'll see a lot of people put Spanish influences into it here.
Yeah.
Right? It's because, we're more of a kind of a melting pot with, being so close to Mexico and all that.
Mexico, yeah.
And we take our tri-tip seriously out here.
Yeah.
Because it was a big deal up in Santa Maria, north from here. And that's one thing I know I do well, is I do tri-tip like nobody's business, because it's California. Like when I was over in Texas, all them boys were cooking on their smokers. I brought out the Santa Maria pit and I did some tri-tip, and I had to do it well for them good old boys.
That's right.
Know what I'm doing, and they loved it. So,
and that's the cool thing. I've never done a tri-tip the way you do tri-tips. Right. I'll just reverse sear a tri-tip. I don't do the Santa Maria style where you just basically just keep flipping and flipping and flipping. I need to.
Most of the time I'll reverse sear mine too.
Yeah.
Like I have a Santa Maria grill out back, and it stays under the cover most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's going on the Weber.
It's like an offset. It's a lot to it. You got to have time to do it. Normally whatever's the quickest and easiest way to get it done is what you generally go to.
The cooking I'm doing this weekend, the local fire department has a big trailer, barbecue trailer type thing.
Yeah.
And it has a big Santa Maria grill on it, and then a big old plancha on it too.
Nice.
And that's how I'm going to do the tri-tips. I'm bringing my cabinet smoker and starting them in there. Just because I don't have time. Like, we're feeding 4,000.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have time to sit there and flip for hours until they come.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
So I'm going to start them off in the kettle, in the cabinet smoker.
Yeah.
Get them up to 100, whatever, and then start flipping.
Yeah. I tell you one thing, whenever I do a crowd, and tri-tips is something that I do often. I love to make a little crostini with a tri-tip and with some chimichurri and a horseradish sauce, which I don't know if you'd like that, but
nope.
I'll smoke it. I'll smoke it very lightly first. I'll bag it, sous vide it for 4 hours because I like doing this because I can keep it at about 140 degrees. People don't freak out about the medium rareness,
Yeah.
And the reason I do that is so that it appeals to most of your people. You know what I'm saying? And it's so stinking tender because it's been in the sous vide for at least 4 hours, and it's dang near tender as a fillet.
Yeah, you've broken down all the goodies and all the collagen, all the fats, all that stuff.
And it's done. It's already done. All I got to do is take it out of the bag, zip it, and then either over your kettle or Big Green Egg, or I do it on my Blackstone all the
Yeah,
time, or the grill
sure.
gun. Those grill guns are sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Dude, it's the best way to do it. But the good thing about it, I like medium rare, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, me too.
Most of the family doesn't or whatever. It's such a versatile piece of meat that you can get the medium or even medium well, right? But you still have medium rare in the middle, so you could please a lot of people with that kind of meat.
Have you done the tri-tip brisket, like a brisket? Have you done that?
Yeah, I did it once. I hated it.
I just don't see how I've never done it, and I haven't done it because I personally don't believe the hype that you can make that tender like a brisket, because let's face it, it's a part of the sirloin, right?
Yeah, steak.
A sirloin isn't supposed to have the intermuscular fat, tendon, all that crap as a brisket.
Yeah.
You don't have that fat, and it's just got to be dry. Is that kind of what you think?
I thought it was dry.
Yeah.
I even left the fat cap on it. I didn't trim it up that well. Maybe because I'm just so, I'm pretty set in my ways with it, with being a Californian and how you're supposed to cook it out here, but I tried it as a brisket one time. It was dry. It was not tasty. It was tender-ish. Obviously it was, cooked all hell.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I won't ever do it again.
At least you tried it. You got to try it.
I tried it. I wanted to see what the hype was about because I had seen it a lot. Because people are like, this is a cheaper piece of meat than a brisket or whatever, and you don't have as much volume. You don't. If you're feeding your family, you don't need a whole ass brisket, right?
Yeah.
So
I think I'd rather sacrifice a chuck roast instead.
Yeah, dude. That's why I do the chuck roast, pork ass brisket.
Yeah,
works great every time.
Yeah. Let's we're getting on about 2 hours here.
That's the thing you gotta remember, and you can leave the center or cut it out. But when you, especially with someone like you're comfortable talking to, like we had 3-hour hot seats, man. So like, if you want to keep these to an hour, either you're gonna have to do a lot of cutting or
I don't know what. I kind of came in here as in an open mind, like whatever. I ultimately I'm like whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That's kind of what I'm not tied to whatever. I just want to be respectful of your time as well.
Are you putting these on YouTube too?
This will be on YouTube, yeah.
Right. Okay,
that's primarily where I want to be, but I'm also going to put it to other places as well. So yeah.
All right, good.
But YouTube is going to be my spot because they said they want this. They want people to do podcasting, and once I saw that, and I kind of had this in my mind. I was like, man, I got to do it. So anyway, but yeah, it'll be on YouTube, and then also the audio will be taken into like your Apple, and all that kind of stuff.
All right, cool.
I guess Spotify too, I reckon. So
well, I'll tell you what, if you ever need a co-host or someone to step in, I got your back. So
yeah, I mean, on the lives and stuff, I think that'd be pretty cool too. To have some, I don't know, a round table discussion. Like I always thought it'd be pretty cool, just like Teddy Roosevelt's, the fireside chats.
Yeah,
but the fireside chats would actually be like us guys just sitting around, chatting. It's like the hot seat.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Maybe have some kind of better moderation where it's not like how the hot seat
I got you, man. You'll find your legs however you want to do it.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying, Matt, if you ever need me around, I got you.
I appreciate you.
Obviously, I have experience messing with it. So
you do.
Are you gonna put this on your Hussey channel, or are you building a separate?
No, this will be on me. This will be on the Hussey channel because it's within the same niche. It's not something else. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, I think if as long as it's this, it can live on my channel. So and you just put it in the playlist. You make a playlist, and it automatically just uploads it there. You just gotta. You just put it in the podcast playlist, and it automatically catalogs it for you. So.
Yeah, I actually built another channel that said CJ's Hot Seat. When I was debating whether I wanted to. This was back when we were doing it.
Yeah,
I was debating whether I wanted to keep it on my main channel because I was getting conflicting information about it. Whether it's hurting or not.
I don't want to do another channel. I can hardly freaking manage what I got, and here I am adding more. So.
I hear you, man. I have that barbecue channel, and I barely put content on it.
Yeah. It's hard.
It's
real hard.
It is. But
let me see here. I think what we'll do is we'll go to like a cooking tip, and then we'll try to wrap this up here in a minute. Goals. I want to discuss your goals and stuff, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. Make sure you say you got seasonings and stuff like that. Make sure you tell all that kind of stuff too. give you some time there.
People in the studio behind me.
Yeah, make sure, we tell everything, both channels, if you want both channels, because I'll give you some time, be like, where can we find you, that kind of thing. Okay. So, man, we've talked about a lot here. So about cooking in general, if you could give somebody that one cooking tip, that that everyone needs to know or should know, what's that one cooking tip that you recommend?
Well, I'll tell you what, I got 2 for you. First thing is
bonus. We didn't even pay for that one.
Yeah, sometimes you pay extra in Vegas, baby. One thing people always do is ask me, like, especially on a protein, how long something takes. Get yourself one of these. Get an instant read thermometer.
Gotta have one.
Cook to internal temperatures. Don't, like my cooker here in Southern California will cook differently than your place in North Carolina, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
for sure,
I can give you a parameter and give you kind of an idea how long something's going to take. Yeah. But if you're cooking to internal temperatures, you're going to be successful every time, right? Okay, so that's the first tip.
Completely agree. Yeah. The cow drives the cook. The pig drives the cook. Whatever you're cooking drives the cook. You're absolutely right.
And it even works like indoors. Like I'm making some egg rolls or whatever. You got to check the oil. You got to check the oil temp, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So it's the most handy tool I'll ever have, right? Second thing is don't be afraid to fail. Cooking, it should be fun. It should bring out, joy and love for all the people you're cooking for. Yeah. Don't be afraid to fail. Yeah. A pizza is one phone call away, right? So that's how I've cooked my whole life, really, is I'm not afraid to fail. If something burns or doesn't get as tender or doesn't taste great or whatever, pizza's a phone call away. So don't
you got them canned taters. You got them canned taters in the background too now. Don't forget about them suckers.
I'll tell you what, I want to plug myself. You fry those canned taters up in my West Coast shake.
There you go.
Right? This will just change your life, baby.
Absolutely.
So, don't be afraid to fail. That's it. Yeah. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, I mean that's even in the creator journey. I mean, you told us that too, right? I mean, you had that low point where you got laid off, and it's like, you know what? Screw the corporate world, right? Yeah. Let's get at this. So so same thing with cooking. So instant read thermometer, I can't not agree with you more. Got to have one of them. The web, this finger trick, y'all, just touching.
Yeah.
For those this audio, you can't. It'll get you. It will only get you so far. Yeah. And I had a video the other day that guy was like, "Yep," and I said that I was like, "You can't use that, y'all. You can't. You got to have this." And I think some people are thinking I'm plugging my feelings or whatever, and I'm not. And I'm not. Well, I mean, I kind of am, but this thing has made me a better cook, and I think you could probably say that too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Because you want the cook to be successful. Don't be afraid of failing, but you want it to be successful. Yep. So once I got one of these instant reads, and I don't even know the first company that ever sent me one, I was like, all right. And it changed the game. I mean, because you know what you're cooking. You know what medium rare wants. So, you want a well-done steak, you know what you need that to be too. It's the biggest tool. I mean, I work with ThermoPro. I think you work with ThermoPin. They're all made in the same spot. And I use all of those products to make sure my cooks turn out great, right? Yeah. I mean, even the long cooks, I use the Bluetooth thermometers, right? The little like, you set it up on your app and you look at it and you're good to go, right?
Yeah.
So it does. You're not less of a cook because you're using a tool to make it work, right?
I agree. I agree.
Like you're not cooking for Le Cordon Bleu or whatever, where you use a cake tester and put it up against your lid. All right, that's medium. That's not, whatever, right?
Yeah.
No one's doing that, watching this, right? So just get yourself an easy tool to make your job easier.
I totally agree, brother. Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about getting on towards the end here. Let's talk about some personal goals, aspirations, interests, things of that nature about what CJ would like to do outside of cooking and content. What other kind of hobbies do you have, or is it just kids?
It feels like kids a lot. A lot of people don't know.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not. No, and we love the kids, man. It's funny is we have 4 boys together, right?
Yeah.
Not one of them plays football. And
something.
I'm a football guy. Right? You're a football guy.
Yeah.
I know I have so much knowledge to share with the kid, but they just didn't go that path, right? And I'm okay with that. And it's funny is 2 of the kids are in the band, so we go to football games still. They just perform there, right? So I still get to watch football or whatever. But so the kids do take up a lot of our time, but as they get older, it's getting less and less.
Yeah.
Especially 3 of them are in college, it's just part of the natural thing. So when we have one that's a freshman, a kid that's a freshman, so he'll be done in 4 years. once he's done in 4 years, more than likely we're selling this house and we're going to move somewhere else or we're going to travel because my wife can do her job remote. She works remote. Yeah. Obviously, I could pick up a camera anywhere and cook anywhere.
For sure.
I have a successful video that I did in Montana off a gas grill that we had at an Airbnb. It was fun. Just I used my cell phone the whole time too. I could do
the easiest things that do so well.
Yeah. And so I don't know if, obviously it might not be exactly 4 years from now, but the plan is to do a little traveling. It's not like we're retiring, but like we'll go to a place and stay there for a month as opposed to a weekend or a week, right?
Yeah. Right.
Post up at an Airbnb or whatever. So, and then we'll buy a home base, obviously, but we have a 5-bedroom house here. Like we're not going to need that at some point, right? We just don't need it. So that's kind of the goal, is to be able to do my content anywhere and everywhere. And then obviously meet all you guys. Yeah. A lot of people don't know I'm an avid poker player. So I go to Vegas quite a bit to play poker, or even around here at the Indy casinos.
You've entered the World Series of Poker, right?
Yeah.
World Series of Poker. I kind of botched that. World Series of Poker. You've entered that, right?
Yeah. So the World Series of Poker is actually like 60 events. It's not just that one you see on TV, the $10,000 buy-in or whatever. So there's ways to win. They call it the bracelets, championship bracelets or whatever. So I've played in the lower level ones that are less expensive, like $1,500 or whatever. So once a year, I'll play in one of those. And I've never won it, but I've cashed. I've won a couple of poker tournaments in Vegas, won one out here. We have like Indy casinos out here.
Yeah.
You put me in a home game tournament, I'm taking everybody's money pretty much.
Nice.
It's just something I've loved to do, ever since the poker boom, around 2004 when Moneymaker won the World Series.
Yeah. You do Hold'em, right?
Yeah.
You like Hold'em. Yeah.
So, in fact, when we went to Texas a couple of weeks ago, we were there. My wife's company was having a sales rally of some sort or whatever. So I just tagged along because the hotel was free or whatever.
Gotcha.
And, I met Alan for the day, and then I played poker. So they have card rooms, not casinos, card rooms. And I finally was able to say I played Texas Hold'em in Texas. So, and I actually won the tournament that I played in out there. So that was
nice.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. I used to play a lot. I used to play poker before I was married a lot, and still love it. My boy's getting into cards right now, and man, he might be really good. I told my wife I don't know if he's ready for poker yet or not. But
that's fun. I have a little card set that the boys have played with me. I'll talk to them about it, but it's just it's something I could do where I kind of lose myself for 8 hours or whatever it takes, and I'm not thinking about content. I'm not thinking about the world, kids, whatever. I'm just concentrating on the cards and the people that are around me and trying to have a good time with it. I'll have a couple of cocktails or whatever while we're playing.
Yeah. And, a tournament takes a while, especially if it's a big one. Yeah, it's hours and hours and hours.
Hours. Yeah. Sometimes they're days.
Sometimes,
They just they stop at like midnight and you come back the next day. So
yeah.
It's just fun for me to do that. I watch a lot of sports. I'm a big USC fan. Not the one that's on your side of the country. The real USC in LA.
Well, that's fine. You can have those guys. They're not real anyway. They claim they're the University of what did they say? University of Carolina, like Carolina University. I'm like, come on, y'all, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, Jess Farron on the Griddle crew. He's a big Gamecocks fan. So throughout the year during football season, I'm always giving her crap. I'm like, well, the real USC won this week, or whatever. We were supposed to
say the real Carolina. I always talk about the real Carolina, the one on top. Yeah, and that's
the one
North Carolina.
Yeah, I love it. So I'm a big fan. Like I watch a lot of football when I can, but pretty low key life, man.
I gotcha. But, I mean, 5 years. What are we gonna see from CJ? Any big dreams, goals? What are we gonna see in 5 years? We're gonna hit the million. We're gonna get that platinum.
I would love it. I'd love to get that
gold.
It's gold. I'd love to get that gold button, but it's nothing I can control, really.
Yeah.
My goal is to get on a show.
Like a Food Tube Network show.
Not my own show, but like on a competition show. Like I think I'd do great on like Chopped. Right?
Have you interviewed? Have you sent in your submission for it?
Yeah, I've done a couple.
Have you really?
One for like a tailgate show, one for
what about the barbecue brawl?
Yeah, one for the barbecue brawl. I did one for them. Next Level Chef, the one with Gordon Ramsay. I actually got through to like the final cuts on that one.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Why you withheld that information from me?
Yeah, because I was pretty depressed about it.
Well,
I
the
met
bad friend here because I didn't check in on you. That's that's the problem. So
it's all good. It's all good. I had a casting director that I really, vibed with. We did good, and then I met with one of the producers and did an interview like this, and got to the point in the interview we were taking shots of bourbon, just having a good time, right?
yeah.
And it got in front of Gordon and all their team and all that, and it wasn't the right time or right place, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's how it goes.
The way the producer was talking to me, it was like I was pretty much a shoe-in.
Yeah.
So when it got to the point where I didn't make it, it kind of stung a bit. Yeah, you learn from it. I learned, a better interview way of doing things, right?
Keep trucking, baby.
I would love to get on a cop show, at some point, but my world is going to revolve around that.
Yeah.
A goal would be, I actually want to meet Guy Fieri one time and have a drink with him one time or a cigar with him.
Yeah.
But, in overall 5 years, I'll probably still be doing this one way, shape, or form. And hopefully it's from different locations.
Let's talk about, I guess, this is one of my first episodes. I don't know when we're going to put this out, but I mean, I think it's pretty cool to say you put not a value, and it's not something I want you to like put much emphasis on. Let's say 500,000. So we could go back at this instance and be like, man, I told Hussey I was going to be 500K in 5 years. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
I could do it. I think I could do it, but I think it would.
Okay, I think so. As hard as you work.
I think I'll hit it sooner on Facebook than I would on YouTube.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've grown.
Everybody has Facebook. Everybody's grandma has Facebook. Yeah. There's so much more there, and you're very smart for capitalizing on that.
I didn't take Facebook seriously. I didn't take Instagram seriously when we started. TikTok is just, I throw crap on there. I don't really care. But I wish I would have taken Instagram seriously just because of what I see their top creators do. Not necessarily monetarily, but they travel a lot. They work with companies that send them places, like the Open Fire meetup this last weekend. 20 of the people I follow on Instagram were flown out there and part of the whole thing. I want to be a part of something like that.
Was that an Instagram thing? With the Open Fire meetup?
Al Fragoni put it on.
Okay.
Somewhere in Texas, I believe.
Yeah. I saw it happen. A guy from North Carolina, his name's Joey, barbecue friend. I don't know if you ever follow him or not. He went out there.
Yeah. So that would be fun to be flown out for something like that.
Yeah.
So I hope to, find a way to do that, capitalize on that. Facebook, like I said, until 6 months ago, I wasn't doing much of anything on Facebook. Had like 10,000 followers, and nothing crazy. And then my goal for the year was to go to 20,000 on it. And I ended up, I just passed 53,000. So it grew relatively quickly.
Wow. Yeah. That's, I'm the same way as you. I didn't want to, it's hard to be proficient on all the platforms. Right. And I kind of just said, all right, I'm sticking with YouTube and I'll dabble with the rest. Right. So it just kind of goes YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, because they're pretty much the same to me. If you post it on Instagram, it'll post on Facebook for you. And so I need to try to do that as well. But yeah, that's it's not a bad idea to try to be diverse. Yeah, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
If you can get monetized on Facebook, it's less money than you get on YouTube. So I had a video I had a reel go viral on Facebook with like 8.5 million views, right?
Yeah.
I think I made $800,000 on it, right? But you put that same video as a long form on YouTube, then you're looking at $50,000, right? They pay differently on YouTube.
Yeah.
So
the ads are different. Yeah.
Ads are different, right?
But
so
it's
still going to take a lot more work to make the same amount of money on Facebook.
Yeah. If you think about it in a more business way, right? You're just like, well, when YouTube's kind of down, you're hoping something, it starts, it's just like investing, it's just,
you're right. You got to go, you got to find the places to sell high or buy low or whatever. Right. And that's, to me right now, I feel like Facebook's going to be enough to kind of get me over the YouTube hump until the holidays come around or whatever. Right. And that's when I pick up. Or in May.
Right now it's low, bro.
It's low. My views are horrible right now.
Yeah, I've hit a low spot. I had a pretty good little jump there, and now it's kind of going down. But
May to is my best time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm thinking I'm on top of the world, getting tons of subscribers. Like, let's keep this going. And then all of a sudden, August, September.
I got this thought. It's like things are going to be different. And then it's all of a sudden.
Different this year. September picked up just because I had a video do really well. So it kind of covered a little bit. But it's just one of the things, man. Just, you got to deal with the ebbs and flows. And that's why you want those extra streams, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So 500K in 5 years. I think you can do it. I think you're going to do it.
I do. I want to get I'll get to 200K by next year. Clearly. Yeah. My goal for next year will be 250, because every year I write out my goals and I have them on a little whiteboard by my desk, right? And I cross them out if I go, and then I'll get to 250 by next year. I think I'll put that for you.
Yeah, you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it, bro.
I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. Let me see. We went across this. I think we got one more point before we close this out. And this is just for the folks out there that's in the content creation. I think a lot of the Griddle crew folks are probably, they know I'm starting this. They're kind of excited. And, for someone just starting out in content creation, cooking content creation, really any content creation, what's that one, just like that tool we said that you can't live without, or the tip, what's the piece of advice you'd give them for content creation for them to succeed?
Just get started.
Yeah.
Don't think diff. Don't think diff. Yeah. You could have a plan of what you want to put together or whatever, but grab the phone, get out there, do your thing, and just get started.
Yeah.
And I've heard that from many people. It's easy to set up a YouTube channel. There's so many tools, even on YouTube, that'll take you step by step. Yep. It's easy to do. So if you want to do content creation, then set it up. Do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have written down somewhere and I saved it. And it was just this. This is my to-do list little book. I said, just start. Just start. Just do it. It's just like you said, press record, and make sure you get you a nice mic, either a wired lav or something like that. But yeah, you just use your phone for sure. Yeah, and just get started.
Get started, and then the next thing, get a microphone.
Yeah,
Get a little plug-in. They have the little Rode mics that plug in. Like, I'm looking at one over your shoulder.
Oh yeah, I got the ones as well, man. They're the cat's meow or the dog's bark, whichever you want to call it. But
they're pretty inexpensive, and they'll take you to the next level. And if
for the longest time, I used a wired one. And I was tripping over that stinking thing out there on the back deck. And I was just like about to lose my religion. The dog would come across. But dude, I was just going cheap, man. And
that's true.
So, but yeah.
That's one investment you got to make, like having the wireless microphone. I think it's $150 now. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when we were starting out, we had to kind of learn as we went, right?
Yeah.
You had to make mistakes and then learn from them and go. Nowadays, people can just jump in and get going.
Yeah.
Like, just grab your phone. Your phone has 4K.
Yeah.
Upload that thing. You have your little wireless microphone, plug it in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they make it. Yeah, they make attachments to go right in your USB-C, man. I mean, it's just like it's right there, easy.
You get a little tripod that's $10 off of Amazon. Yeah, solid, dude.
Yep.
Pretty simple to get started and be successful.
Totally with you there, bro. Totally with you. Well, man, it's been fun.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate it. Now, you were talking earlier, you have a website, you have e-cookbooks,
yep.
You have seasonings, you have all kinds of stuff. For the folks that's with us, hopefully a bunch of them.
Hopefully everybody stuck around to the end.
Yeah, they are. They better.
Of course.
I'm watching you. Where can everybody find you? And what else do we need to know about Cooking with CJ? As far as your channels, where you at, where you stay? I need your address, social security. No, I was kidding. Yeah. Tell everybody where they can find you, where they can get your spices, where can they get your ebooks, etc.
I'll tell you what, anything Cooking with CJ. So cookingwithcj.com is my website. YouTube's Cooking with CJ, Facebook, Instagram, all them. I obviously try to keep it simple across the board. I showed you earlier. I do have my own shake. It's my own West Coast shake. I partnered up with UncleSteveShake.com, and he helped me make a West Coast barbecue rub. It has a little lime, little chili, little garlic, cumin, flavors of the West Coast, has a little kind of Spanish flair to it. Because I feel like Southern California is under-repped, California at all. as far as rubs go. I mean, obviously you got all the stuff from across, the major barbecue spots where you're at, or, Memphis or Texas or whatever. But I wanted to build my own, and Uncle Steve was kind enough to let me do that with his packing style, his stuff. Because I wanted to put was in my brain out, right?
Yeah.
And he allowed me to do that I didn't want to incur the cost of developing my own rubs, like bottling and packing and all that stuff. So
yeah, it's a lot.
He let me do that. So West Coast Shake, it's at UncleSteveShake.com. I would suggest you get some. I love it. Everybody who's tried it loves it. I give a lot of people, that come over to the house, I have little sample bottles for them to take home, and they end up buying some. I'm bragging a little bit, but it is really good. I dig it. It has a little bit of spice. So like I said, it's not blowing you out, right? So those are my things. All my e-cookbooks are on my website, cookingwithcj.com. It's funny, we got CJ in my real life, not YouTube. People know me as Justin.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't grow up being called CJ, but I felt like it rhymed. It worked a little better when we started the channel. My middle name is Justin, first name Charles, right? So that's what we decided to go with. But if you're not in the YouTube world, or know me from YouTube, you don't know me as CJ.
Gotcha. That's good to know. Good to know.
There you go. So it was funny when Baby Bag Maniac, Justin, his name is Justin.
Yeah.
I would always tell him, like, yo, my name is Justin too. He's like, no, it's CJ.
No, it says CJ, not
Justin. It says CJ.
Yeah.
You tell me.
I can see that back and forth with him. Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
He's such a good dude. I love that guy. Anytime I get around, I give him my arm. I mean, he's a sweetheart.
Yeah, I'd like to meet. That's another guy I'd like to meet. I mean, I haven't seen him. I think he took a hiatus for a little bit, and then is kind of working back into it. But yeah, he was a guy that's just kind of come up through. He's a real good guy, it seems. He and I have exchanged some emails before, and that's about it. But I got to get out from under this rock sometimes, like we said.
You know what you need to do? Instead of me going out there, you need to come out to the West Coast.
I've never been to California before. I've never been.
Holy moly. No. There's so much to do out here.
Utah's as farthest I've been west. So.
You need to skip Utah, come here. I'll show you around. We'll take the kids to Disneyland. It'll be a thing.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. That's what we need to do.
Get you out to the ocean, the good ocean out here.
That's a cold ocean. You know that. Nobody wants to get in that cold thing. Dude, it's a lot warmer over here. People come from California here to get in our ocean. You know that, right?
We were at the beach this weekend. There were so many people in that ocean. It's fun. It lets you know you're alive, man. Come on. It's like a cold plunge, You just tell.
Hey, listen, I'll stick a toe in. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I will stick a toe in a heartbeat.
Between me and you, I hate the ocean. No matter where it is, I'd rather be in the pool day of the week, dude.
Bro, I don't want no sand in my butt. I hate the sand, but my kids love it, and I just do it. So
that's what you do, man.
Yeah.
My wife loves going to the ocean, the beach, and all that, and I go with her. Like, we love going to Hawaii, and that's beautiful out there, but. Even then, I don't really like going in the water. I tell her, we got to stay at a resort with a pool so we both be happy.
Yeah, I like a pool too. You know what? I like being at home. That's one thing I like to be. I'm a homebody.
All right. That's all my stuff. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's your story, and I'm sticking to it. You're sticking to it. That's right. Well, I want to close this out here, and I got a little blurb that I have not recited much, so I'm going to be looking down at my iPad some. Well, thanks, CJ, for joining us, sharing some of your insights from being a full-time creator, some of your tool tips, grilling tips, etc.
Sure.
We covered a lot of great things for sure, and I just want to say I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for being a good friend to me, and also for putting out some really good content. Hey, if you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate this podcast, and follow us on social media for all the latest. Until next time, thanks for chewing the fat with us. We'll see you soon.
Here's y'all.
It wasn't too bad, was it?
You did good, man. You did good.